Hi everybody! Welcome to the first episode of the Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern in 2023. It's been a long time. We've been off the air since early December, and we have all got a lot of rest, at least, out of it, and we're hopefully back now to give you a whole bunch of new episodes with the Prismatic Dragonfly crew. So, Mythical Family hasn't really been quiet these last couple months, and we've had a whole bunch of awesome streams during that time. We don't have a ton of updates. The main one that I wanted to share really quick is that we are going to be at the Meeple Peak convention, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Meeple Peak board game convention in Carson City, Nevada. And that is happening this month on the 17th and 18th, right?
Yeah, 17, 18, 19.
I almost got it right. 17th, 18th, and 19th. So if you're in the Northern Nevada area, or can make it to the Northern Nevada area, please come and check out the convention. It's an awesome time filled with lots of board game and TTRPG fun, and we will be there doing a whole bunch of awesome things. I believe that we're running 2 games that I know of, and one is Lighthouse at the End of the Universe, which is, I've heard very good things about it. It's a really exciting little mini TTRPG system, so if you get the chance, please come check us out. And if you're not able to, we still have, or will have, a lot of content online afterwards. Might not be able to stream live during the event, depending on cellular connections and all that fun stuff, but we will have videos afterwards of everything that we got up to during that time. Beyond that, though, I don't think we have any other Mythical Family stuff, right? Amazing people off camera? Okay. Okay, awesome. Well, then we are going to go ahead and jump right in, because it has been a while, and I want to get our players up to speed and the audience as well. So we are mostly picking up from where we left off last episode. We don't have everything up on YouTube right now. We will here in the future though, but if you were somebody that was watching one of our last episodes, we left off in the city of Orishire after an assassination attempt was carried out in the city of Vinzor by our intrepid crew here, most of our crew here. They attempted an assassination. We still don't know if it was really successful, but they made a daring escape and made it back to Orishire, and then took some time to hopefully rest in Orishire. Surprise, it wasn't that restful, which seems to be the status quo for these poor individuals.
Yeah.
They found out that somebody they were looking forward to connecting with afterwards and talking to once more, Matilda, the owner of Matilda's Emporium, had vanished under mysterious circumstances, and her once grand emporium was a completely empty building now with barely a trace of magic left in it. On top of that, when they tried to contact her, the individual that cast the scrying spell, Scalea, someone that has been traveling with them for a little bit since the assassination attempt, had a horrific magical backlash happen to her and was thrown unconscious into a coma. And she has been unconscious since. It's about 2 weeks after the last episode, canonically. Those 2 weeks have been somewhat quiet, so our characters have gotten a little bit of rest for now. They've been up to a multitude of things during that time, mostly investigating Matilda's disappearance with the local authorities, the guard captain Kovita, a local professor by the name of Satari, who's a professor of the arcane, and Nithagora, one of the counselors of the Orishire Council. So these last 2 weeks have been, I don't want to say unproductive, they've just been very quiet as the investigation's been going on. No one has any good leads on what happened to Matilda yet. Some of you have spent time studying, some of you have spent time aiding in the investigation. A lot of you took care of personal business in the city during that time, such as sending letters home or letters to other individuals or just catching up with each other. But where we're going to start tonight is at the end of those 2 weeks, where one late evening, Kovita, the captain of the Orishire Guard, is going to summon everyone to her private chambers for dinner. And she specifically lets you all know that she has some updates to share with you regarding the events that happened 2 weeks ago in the city of Vinzor, the so-called City of Wonder, most likely having to do with your assassination attempt. She gave you a specific time for the dinner, which was 7 in the evening, which is kind of weird for Covita to be so formal, especially to all of you at this point. And it's about 5 o'clock right now. So where we're going to start is in a location that is very familiar at this point, the Orishire Guard Keep and the diplomatic quarters where a few of you are staying. Specifically, Cassiana, Vander, and Sani are all there right now. Cree and Half Pint have been missing these last 2 weeks. You know that they were kind of ushered out of the city quickly by Chromebeard because Half Pint's mother, Cardia, was in the city looking for her daughter that had lost a massive shipment of their arcane rifles and was very hot-headed at the moment. So you have not heard from Gaspard or Half Pint during that time either. So that's where we'll pick up at about 5 in the late afternoon at the Orishire Guards Keep. It's a normal day in the city so far, and you all just received this message from one of Covita's lieutenants, a face that you've come to recognize in the past couple weeks, over at the diplomatic quarters. So we're going to go ahead and pick up there after everybody heard the news. And minutes after you heard the news is about when you would show back up at the keep, too, through the main gate. So I guess we'll start with you, actually, to put all the pressure on you. The keep doesn't look any different. It's a normal day. The guards are milling about. Nobody pays you any mind as you walk through the gates either.
Oh, yes, they do.
Oh, they do? Why do they pay mind to you?
Uh-oh.
Oh, Orishire, I am back!
There we go.
There they are. There they are.
Do you look like Gaspard right now?
I look like Gaspard, so...
Are you Gaspard but cool now?
I'm Gaspard, but cool now. I'm a little bit more grizzled. There's dark under the eyes. The mustache is still curly, but it's a little unruly and too long.
Oh, okay. It's not
Even though I could
polished.
change it at any time. A little buffer. And
little
fully wearing their chainmail coat, bright purple, and they've got the crossbow on their back. And they are, I think they flagged down a guard and...
You, sir, where are my compatriots?
Who are you?
I am Gaspard Derici of the Heroes of Orishire.
I take out my little plush of myself.
Look at me!
Diplomatic quarters, I think, if I know who you're talking about. But you're not a fan, right?
You must be new.
Somewhat, but they get a lot of people that want to see them that are fans. Are you sure you're just not cosplaying?
Cosplaying? I am an artist. I do not go with fandom. I would like to see Covita. She's your boss, is she not?
Yes, but she's indisposed at the moment. You can go...
Well, dispose her.
I can't interrupt her right now.
I will go to the diplomatic area. You can watch me if you like.
Nah, I'm good.
So am I. I don't know what it was. I'd walk away.
You do notice that when you walk past the guard, the courtyard is a little more torn up than it used to be. Not like there was a battle there or anything like that, but it looks like it's been seeing a lot of use, way more than when you've been here previous times. So they must be running more training drills, or they have more troops or something, but it looks like it's much more lived in out here. And the diplomatic quarters that you're headed to, it looks like all of them are occupied right now. There's a couple carriages parked out near the diplomatic quarters. The stable, from what you can see in the distance, looks very full. And it looks to be just a packed house right now, because during the time that you've been there previously, you all were the only ones that ever were stayed in the diplomatic quarters. You heard that they were used for diplomats and stuff like that, but you've never seen them filled. They're filled now with a variety of individuals, so definitely seems a little more busy over there than you're used to.
Oh, this is interesting. Sonny Vander!
That's effective.
Cass would have been in the courtyard, like, continuing her training, covered in dirt and sweat and all that, and she's just going to drop her battle axe upon seeing Gaspard, sprint to you, and hug you.
Okay. Oh, yes. Good to see you.
Where did you go?
I was on a most important journey. studying under the tutelage of Cardia Blueflame. She didn't really talk to me that much, but I learned so much.
Wait, I will now let you go. Cardia found you.
Well, we kind of gave up the ghost, you know. We let her find us, really. I mean, you know, it's important to let bygones be bygones. The half pint is alive, by the way. But staying at the estate, I believe. I wasn't allowed in, but otherwise things are great. I've been working out a little bit, and how are you doing, Kat?
I'm fine. Things are good.
Things are good, right?
Yeah.
Yes, no, everything's great. Fantastic. We've been really making a name for ourselves, yes. What's going on here?
Let's wait for the others. There's some stuff to fill you in on.
Yes, I love being filled in. It's always good news.
Not everything is good.
I didn't think it was.
Oh.
Miles!
Smiles. Sonny, Vander!
Oh my god.
Make haste!
Universe.
We'll go towards, I guess, proceed towards the rooms. In case, Sonny's busy getting ready or something.
You guys can come out whenever. You're over there, so.
All right. And I'm just imagining Sonny has turned the desk in the room she's cleaned into like a small altar and was probably doing something at that and then just hears all this yelling. It's like, oh, wait, God. He just gets up, walks out into the hallway and like, Cree?
Yes, it is. It is I, Cree, gets barred. Wherever I'm going by these days.
God, where the hell have you been?
Traveling the world, learning, studying the arts of the world's finest scientists and engineers. What have you been doing?
You've missed a lot.
I've come to expect that, yes.
And where is Vander right now?
He's in the kitchen.
He's in the kitchen.
Making more run cake.
He's probably making something funny. Covered in flour for sure.
Well, the kitchen's not too far, or well, the kitchen, at least in the diplomatic quarters that you have easy access to, is not too far. So you're probably overhearing this in the hallway at least. by now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, he'd
you'll hear
come
the
out
voices.
covered in flour.
Okay.
Hi.
This giant fur block covered in flour. Intimidating sight.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
What are you covered in?
Flour.
Oh, then it's good to see you!
What did you think I was covered in?
I wasn't sure. I honestly thought you might have been a ghost.
Oh.
You could have been covered in dead people dust.
Oh.
Oh, gosh,
I
that
don't
brings
like
back wonderful memories.
I don't want to think about that.
It's been so long.
It has been how long has it been?
A fortnight.
Fortnight. How long is that?
2 weeks.
Oh, snap. Okay. Well, yes. Well, 2 weeks is not that much, you know.
It's much without any updates from you.
Unfortunately, my means of communication were occupied with other investigations and such. I have learned very little about anything going on. But you all seem to be, well, very active.
Yes. We've been summoned by Kovita here shortly. I'm just finishing up, so I'll be right back.
Sure, certainly. I would hate to hold you up.
He's gonna go in there. You're gonna hear a lot of clattering, and then, and then he's gonna come out, and he's perfectly clean.
Are you carrying anything that you baked?
He's carrying like a handful of several hand wrapped things that they're all packaged, but it's like a mound.
Okay.
Of
I
various
assume that
packages.
you're bringing something to dinner. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Vander, I'm very pleased to see you. This is impressive.
Thanks. This is for you.
Oh my god, thank you. Immediately starts eating whatever you hand them.
I'm caught between it being another type of cake and
Okay.
or a certain pastry.
Whatever you want.
What do you think?
I think pastry. I'm going
Okay.
for some Danish.
It's a nice pastry. It's a kolache.
Kolache. Yeah, it's destroyed and feral looking at this point.
God.
I'm sorry you had to see that.
It's fine.
But yeah, no, I mean, so battle plans, or I mean, has Vinzor given us their unconditional surrender, perhaps?
No,
We don't know what's going on.
but they also haven't invaded us, so that's good.
Yes.
But we will probably be learning more in about 2 hours. So,
Kavita wants to have a meeting, dinner.
Okay, good. Well then, I'm as ready as I'll ever be, but if there's anything I should do to prepare or whatever.
Help me carry these casks.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And,
Can you carry these?
sure.
Cool.
But-
Okay, follow me into the kitchen. There's a big cask. Normal size for me, not so much for you.
Gaspard struggles to help.
Cast is not.
Nice.
Not with your arm full of baked goods, no.
True. But how are you, Cree?
I am feeling good. You know, focusing on cardio has been very helpful. You know, you get the blood going. It helps your chi, your chakras, or I didn't really pay attention. But either way, I'm feeling enlightened, emboldened, really vivacious. I think is. the
Do you
right word.
need monk training?
No, I'm good.
Oh.
Yes, I'll stick with the cardio for now. But yes, processing a lot of things in a lot of new and interesting ways. Good. Yes. It is.
Yes, that's quite good for you.
Sonny, you're. I dare say you're not quite yourself.
You've missed a lot.
She's upset with you.
With me?
I'm assuming.
Can't just throw that out there.
It's got nothing to do with me.
It's got nothing to do. It's got a little bit to do with me, right? Like, I mean, you all missed me. Come on.
Of course they
It is good to see you.
All right, good.
One less thing to worry about.
Exactly. And now I can help you with whatever it is that you're doing.
We missed you.
I missed you as well. Yes, I meant to reach in. 2 weeks is it's a very short period of time for how long of a period of time it is. You know, things slip by.
Especially if you're distracted.
Yes, exactly. Yes. But I came back as soon as I was, you know, more or less able, and yes, well, I mean, if there's again anything I can do to make up for lost time, I'm eager and willing.
Matilda's been missing since before we got back.
Well, that's not too weird. I mean, her shop runs itself,
No,
right?
it's gone.
Which
She's gone. Everything is gone.
God.
And it's dangerous to spy on her. Someone's in a coma, essentially, because of it. So things aren't good.
Scalia tried to do a sending to her for us, and she hasn't woken up since.
How is that even possible?
I don't know.
Okay, interesting. Well, I mean, perhaps maybe I could look at this, Scalia. I'm sorry, I didn't really get to know her very much. I know that you two were friends, right? Perhaps there's something that I could do.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's hard to get close to her. A couple members of her order have showed up. I've tried to help, and words were very terse. But essentially, they said thanks, no thanks. So I think they're
Okay.
trying to handle this internally.
So then she's taken care of
She
her
is, yeah.
orders. Okay. So that's one front. Matilda will have to look into. She's a friend. Okay, that's That's more than I expected. But yes, if you have, I mean, did you have any course of action, or?
Been trying to puzzle things out at the Emporium, and it's not very clear yet.
There's not much we can do right now other than make ourselves useful.
Precisely, of course, yes. Let me think. Not much I think I can do aside from what Scalea tried. As willing as I am to try that, I'm pretty sure that would be frowned upon. So
Yes. Don't do that.
We don't know what happened yet. Don't. Just two people under whatever happened. It's just going to be so much worse.
right.
Why did Half Pint decide not to come back?
I think it was time for her to take responsibility for the weaponry that's been absconded with or misplaced. So Cardia is, I believe, taking her more closely under her wing or something like that. Or I guess really she's under Half Pint's wing. I mean, there's a bit of a size discrepancy there, but metaphorically speaking, they're good.
Okay. Well, we met Chromebeard. He seemed lovely.
He is when he's not, suggesting different ways to.
He's a good man.
He's a good man, good conversationalist. But yes, perhaps I will wash up, take off this armor, and I will prepare for dinner and
Sure.
take some time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take these up into the room where Roon eats.
I don't have a room, do I?
There are plenty available. You can take your old one again.
Oh, fantastic! Familiar. Okay. Yeah, if I can, I'll go to my room. Is it empty? Because I'm just gonna open the door after that.
Thankfully, they have kept your own old room exactly in the condition that it was left in, and nobody is in there. You do notice, though, that it does seem like the rest of the place is full. Maybe there's a spare room or two, but it seems pretty busy right now. But your room is still the exact way that you left it last time you were there.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get changed and lie down in the bed for a while in case unless anyone fetches me.
Okay. Anything specific that anyone else is going to be doing in the 2 hours prior to dinner?
No, just getting ready.
Yeah, pretty much the same. Sonny's just following her same routine for the last few days of just, all right, what do people actually need from me? And then otherwise, I'm trying to figure out like a list of problems that need to be solved. Like, okay, my girlfriend's gone. What's going on with this? I need to figure out what's going on with this fake connection bullshit I've got going on, etc., etc. So,
Okay.
What I need from you
Mhm.
is for you to eat this. And he hands you a kolache.
Kitos.
It's
She
a
just goes
special
back to her
one made
room
just
and-
for you.
She just goes back to her room and goes to eat it.
Appreciates it. All right. Well, then the 2 hours of time before dinner pass rather slowly, I would say, in this case. But eventually, time does move on, and the time for dinner rolls around. When you end up leaving the diplomatic quarters as a group, I assume, or does anybody break off on their own to go to dinner, or is everybody kind of hanging out together for this?
We travel as a group.
Okay. At least in this one instance.
So
So
is like, no more splitting up.
Yes.
as you guys
You
head
must
out,
all be within like 10 feet of me at all times.
always have my eyes on you. As you all head out, the sun is mostly set at this point. Stars are starting to come out in the night sky. The city is pretty quiet. The keep is very busy with the different diplomats that are now here visiting for whatever reason. And there's a decent amount of guards, but everybody's pretty relaxed, and it's just another night that there's been plenty of nights like these in the 2 weeks that those of you that have been here have witnessed. And you can make your way through the courtyard up into the Orshire Guard Keep and weave your way to Kovita's chambers, which you have been to once or twice at this point during the investigation and catching up with her and visiting, and a lot of different conversations that have happened in these last 2 weeks. When you reach the room, you find the door already thrown open. There are no guards present or anything like that. You can smell the sense of very strong kind of alcoholic tinted smells, and something with a lot of sugar in it, something that almost smells like it's burning, but it might still be good way. And there's some sounds from the inside that sound just like the sounds that Vander was making in the kitchen a bit ago. And once you peek inside, you see Kovita off in a decently sized kitchen that's part of these quarters. The quarters are surprisingly massive and look more like something that would be akin to a royal's room. Most likely it was a room for a king or a queen back in the day when this was a castle that has been converted to the guard captain's quarters with some amenities like a half kitchen that is, well, it's more like a full kitchen, but in D&D terms, it's like a half kitchen of what a tavern would have. So Kovita's back there. Her gray hair is up in a bun on the top of her head, and she's wearing some of her armor pieces, but not the full outfit. She seems like she's mostly always in armor these days. And when she hears all of you walk into the room, she turns around and offers a very brief smile, but then gestures for everyone to take a seat at the table that is set up in the middle of the room. And it looks like she's putting the finishing touches on some dishes.
Take a seat.
Okay. She's already had some food laid out on the table. A lot of different fruits have been placed there. 2 bottles of wine, both of that have been opened. A pitcher of something, probably water. And within a minute or so of your arrival, she hefts a giant platter out of the kitchen over the table and slams it down very unceremoniously. And a absolutely beautiful looking roasted bird of some type is on there. And she makes a couple more trips back and forth and momentarily has the table filled to the absolute brim with side dishes. And once she puts down the final dish, she slumps into the chair at the head of the table and gestures at the food. Eat up.
Thank you.
This looks so delicious.
Thank you. I've not had time to cook for some time in the kitchen, and it's nice. It's very distracting. Gets you out of your head.
I
Is that
agree.
why you like it?
Yes.
I see why.
It is very appreciated.
Vander
When
will
did you
order
get
birds.
back?
Oh, just a couple of hours ago. Didn't want to interrupt, of course.
Well, it's good to see you. Is the orc with you?
No. She has some family business to take care of.
All right. No one else is coming then, I assume?
Not that I know of.
Okay. She reaches under the table and you hear the faint hum of some sort of a magical spell, and the door swings closed in response. And she grabs the bottle of wine and pours herself one, and takes a moment drinking it before addressing everyone. So I'm sure you're all eager to hear my news.
Yes.
Sadly, it's nothing to do with Matilda, I'm sorry to say. It's Windsor-centric.
I know.
But our scouts and contacts that have been surveying Windsor for some time have news that they have shared with us. And I'm sure you've all noticed the swarm of diplomats that we have in the keep now. Windsor isn't really standing anymore.
Oh.
The city was razed. Yes, it was mostly razed to the ground in the aftermath of the assassination.
What's happened?
No one really knows. The best that we put together from multiple accounts are after the assassination was carried out, or so-called assassination. We don't have a body technically, but the troops belonging to the Haven Snouts and many of the diplomats themselves and citizens of the city took it upon themselves to raze the city and tore it apart for one reason or another. Perhaps repressed hatred of the Haven Snouts is the main theory, at least when it comes to their own troops and their own citizens. The diplomats that have been mentioned once or twice are people that have always hated the Haven Snouts, and I mean, obviously, you're in Orashire. You know how many people would love to rip them from head to toe, so it doesn't really surprise me that the city was razed. But it sounds like most of it was torn to the ground. There are still a handful of buildings present, a handful of individuals, scavenging. Perhaps maybe some will still live there, but there have been no sign of any actual Haven Snouts since the assassination. No sightings, nothing. So we believe, or at least some of us hope, that the assassination was successful, despite the horrible losses that were suffered. And the city seems to have been gutted for one reason or another. So most people are calling the threat from the Haven Snouts completely nullified at this point. The diplomats that are visiting us because rumor has spread very quickly through the world that we were the ones that caused the assassination attempt or carried out the assassination attempt. And needless to say, that ruffled a few feathers, and we've been having to put out the diplomatic fires. It also encouraged a lot of individuals to reach out to us that now want to be friends with us because they like the fact that we assassinated someone of that stature. And then the third variable is the fact that since one of the most powerful people in Arlia, a national figure, was almost assassinated in my keep, that caused its own set of diplomatic feathers being ruffled.
I guess that they're not going to listen if we tell them it wasn't really an assassination.
They know it's not an assassination. At least the people that came from Arlia, those big burly men in the silver armor, they know it wasn't an assassination attempt from someone here. They understand the circumstances. I've had many conversations with them. But when Scalea was knocked unconscious, or however you want to say what happened to the poor thing, it triggered some sort of protection magic on her that certain people in governments can have, and it's a strange enchantment to me. I don't know much about it. Long story short, what it does is it sends a signal. It is kind of like an alarm spell for someone almost dying or being killed. It lets you know that someone is in a grave peril, and hers triggered, which caused the Silver Knights to be sent here and their diplomats from Arlia also. So I have spent the last 2 weeks dealing with nothing but stuffy, stuck-up individuals that have a million questions or want a million things. That is more of just me bitching, but you have some background for why the keep is now swarming with these people in the multicolored outfits and floofy clothes, as I like to say.
I'm sorry we've made things so troublesome for you.
I don't believe you specifically did, Sonny. This is just... someone was going to go after the Haven Snouts one way or another, and whatever made Matilda vanish, I don't think was anyone's fault by any means. I don't think you've done anything here. It's just, we are all rolling with the punches, as they say at this point. But I think it's good news, at least, that the Haven Snouts did not miraculously arise from the ash of their city and immediately try to strike us down. As far as we can tell, they have been scattered to the winds. And hopefully, whatever gods, goddesses, or whatever you believe in, we never hear from them again.
That is good news.
Yeah.
I have to take the little bits I get. And this seems like a good bit.
It's not possible.
What is?
They must be alive.
Why is that?
Because Giovanni is not found. And if he's not found, then they must have him.
When individuals that I trusted were able to survey the site, there was nothing but ash left of the keep. If Giovanni was there or the Haven Snouts was there, I'm pretty sure they would be ash.
No, they're covering the tracks. They had a bunch of difficult.
It could be. Very well. They were doing things with hags. They were doing a lot of things that we thought beyond the reach of most individuals. So perhaps there is a way that has happened, which I do hope, at least for your connection to it. I really hope they are Ash, but as for your connection, I understand wanting to hold out hope, and I hold that hope with you, and I do hope that he is alive.
Think of it this way. They didn't suspect him at all, even at that point. They think that if they are alive, that he's an ally. And if anything did happen, like if they are all still alive, or rather Giovanni is alive and they are dead, what about the people that he's in contract with?
They must. Oh, that phrasing. Time will tell what happened. We will further investigate, of course. I mean, we can't let something like this go without additional reporting. I mean, 2 weeks is not enough time for an enemy of their stature and such, but...
It is not. They could lay in wait for years before showing their face again.
Exactly. But I'm holding up conversations.
Are you?
I assume you have more?
I have a few more tidbits I wanted to get your thoughts on this. I do not feel inclined to pursue them any longer. Not that I really wanted to in the first place. That was the fucking council. And now they get to see the destruction they have wrought pay off, and they have to deal with the diplomats even more than I have to. But I do not feel the need to send any more adventurers, my men and women. I do not think we need to worry about the Haven Snouts for the foreseeable future, and I personally would love to turn my attention inward to the town that I love and the one that I am here to protect, and so I can stop worrying about the whole goddamn world. As for how that involves all of you, I hope that you can also let the Haven Snout issue lie as much as you can as well, and are not driven to risk your lives again for them.
Not anytime soon, I'm sure.
But you can keep an ear to the ground in case anything comes up. Because if it does, Orashire will always be an ally against the Haven Snouts. Hopefully we have learned our lesson about employing tools such as assassination. But we will always be there to help.
Appreciate it.
But that brings me to the question of what do you do now? You, of course, are always welcome in Orashire, but you have dispatched, as far as we know, our greatest enemy. And you do have other things that you have told me multiple times that you are curious about in the world, interested in and being driven to do. So, what does this new news mean for all of you?
We can focus on Matilda and Sick.
Yeah.
Well, I can help you with one of those. Skalea woke up just a bit ago. The Silver Knights aren't allowing visitors. They came down and told me about 3 hours ago, and she is awake. She's all right. That's all I got. They said they would allow her to visit when she's feeling up to it. But she's awake. She's alive. So hopefully we have some information soon on what she went through and maybe some answers on the type of magic that was used to incapacitate her.
Oh, thank the gods for that, at least.
It is very good news. We need some of that. As for Matilda, Satari, that you've all met multiple times, I've heard some of you have popped down to her station at the
I've
Emporium.
been trying to help her, yes.
Yes, Satari is still not convinced of the reason for the disappearance, at least when it comes to how Matilda managed it. She has no idea, of course, why, but moving something like the internal contents of the Emporium is very hard. I'm not a wizard, but I know the complex idea, complex action. Satari knows that some magic was involved, but still has not pinned it down. Today, she did have her best breakthrough so far. It is more of a theory. I caution you with running with it, but she was able to finally extract some, what was the word? And she looks around it, you'll notice there's some papers scattered on her side of the table that have a multitude of writing over them. Some have wine stains on them, some have food stains, and she eventually finds a newer looking one and grabs it and looks at it really closely. There are magical threads that she was able to pull of some sort that, memory of the arcane, traces residue of spells being cast. The best that she can make out so far is that Matilda pulled something of a safety switch, and it was a set up thing where if she activated whatever this was, perhaps it was a magical artifact, perhaps it was a glyph like the one under the table, she pulled the plug. She set this up in case of an emergency, could have set it up in case of an emergency, and the insides vanished of the Emporium with her with it. It's a very rough theory. Satari is not convinced it is what exactly happened, but she can trace the mass of what was in the Emporium disappearing to this thread of magic, and it seems like it was one that was triggered. It's a theory, at least.
There were so many different wards and spells that play in there. It's almost like an entire symphony, you know?
Very much so. Satari seems to share your opinion.
I'm not too versed in magic, but it seems like overall we're all looking for Matilda. We could maybe, instead of focusing on her, like with our magic and how Sick used the spell and that'll happen, we could look.
Follow the shop?
Yeah, follow the shop.
That's novel. I did not think of that myself. I don't think Satari's even considered that.
If she found a thread, perhaps she would have some idea of where the other end is.
She might. So what, you're proposing like using scrying or other things on the contents of the shop?
Locate object?
Could work. I mean, I don't know magic, but that sounds logical, like that could work, and I doubt that the contents of the Emporium would be protected in the way that Matilda's being protected, or at least suppressed, or however you want to say it. That's a wonderful idea. Thanks. Definitely one that you should chase down.
That's a very good idea.
Thank you. Sometimes my brain works.
Sometimes it takes someone from outside the arcane looking in to think of the obvious solution.
Maybe.
So this could be really good news.
It could.
It could, yes. We'll have to talk to her soon.
She should still be at the Emporium, as far as I know, for some time. She is getting a mountain's worth of data from it, at least, in her studies. So she might not be able to give us an answer, but she'll be there for some time. So I would suggest telling her this very soon.
I can speak with her after we're finished here. I can go alone, or if you want to come with me, however.
I'd be happy to go with you. I have some books to return.
I have things to deliver.
Oh, did you do some more baking?
Yes.
I cannot tell you. This is not a bad thing. Don't stop. I cannot tell you how many of the diplomats have asked where the pastry shop nearby is, with the smells coming from the kitchens. Don't give them any. But I found it quite amusing that they all thought we had the pastry shop in the guard keep. I'm sure they will appreciate, Starry will appreciate the pastries. The only other thing of note that I wanted to bring up is that the council has decided upon in their mind, a suitable reward for all of you carrying out the assassination.
Oh.
It feels weird, to me at least, with my opinions on things, of how someone is being rewarded for an assassination, but you all know what I mean. You did the city a great service, you risked your lives, and you saved, even more importantly, countless lives with what you found out the Haven Snouts were up to in the end. So, the council has set aside a monetary amount for you, which I'm sure you're not as interested in, but they also decided to give you your own sailing craft. It's on the smaller side, but it is a craft that was designed for diplomatic use, so it's a little more, how do you say, it's not pedestrian. It is a very, very refined ship with a lot of interesting magical features to it. And they would like to gift this to the heroes of Orashire as compensation for not only the Hague, but especially for what happened with the Haven Snouts.
That's cool.
I thought you might enjoy it. It, again, smaller. You all should fit comfortably on it. Not too many more, I would think. But it is spelled at least, so the sails apparently never need wind from the way that I have been explained to it. It seems like
I have seen vessels like that, yes.
it seems to be something that has caught on around the world if you can afford the enchantments. But this is your ship, and we can show you later where it is in the dock. You can name it, crew it, do whatever you want with it. And of course, you are the heroes of Orashire, and you are always welcome in the city. And the quarters that you have stayed in at the diplomatic suite are yours now. You can have the master key to them, and they will never be used again unless it is you using them. So you always have a place to stay and a home in a way in Orashire. I know it's not a home, it's in a guard's keep, but you know what I mean.
Yes, that is... You've done so much for us, thank you.
I don't feel like I've really done that much, but you're welcome, Sonny. I feel like you all have saved my ass and all of our asses multiple times. I didn't even get to help you with the hag or anything like that, but I have been very blessed to know you all, and for whatever little bit I have done, perhaps, you're welcome. But I think you've done far more for us than we have for you, and I am very appreciative of everything that you've done. I just wish I could help more, in this case, with Matilda or Giovanni, but
You've given us valuable information. That's a big help.
I hope it's valuable. I hope something comes of it. And I feel like the fact that you'll have your own vessel might aid you in your exploration and your own finding of answers. So,
Yes.
A little question for you. Is there any chance that there has been a word of a sighting of a giant returning? I believe we discussed our good friend Agvir.
oh yes. I mean, no one would report a giant in Orashire because it's not noteworthy.
Oh, well,
But I do not believe Egwir has been to the city as far as I know.
okay.
But
He hasn't responded to my letter.
I do believe they would be helpful with this investigation. This panic switch sounds a little bit more like Agvir's sort of.
The teleportations and runes he was studying.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, perhaps they would also be able to assist with this trace of yours.
Maybe.
It could be, but we should find out more from Satari before we go out of town.
Certainly.
well, please eat up, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them, but I think that I've probably just given you a lot to chew on, both metaphorically and actually. And she starts grabbing some of the food herself to dig in, as she is famished for multiple reasons.
Vander devour everything except for the meat.
I was going to say everything. Were you going to ask a question? You look like you're thinking for a second.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, then you guys get to spend as much time as you want with Kovita eating dinner, unless there are any questions or anything else that you would want to go over during dinner.
Cass would just be sharing her observations about some of the guards and their drilling, and which ones are kind of slacking off.
Okay. Kovita would appreciate this and would actually take notes during. And she's jotting down some notes about the guards and their names off to the side, so she would appreciate it.
To this one.
Yep.
Narking on all the guards.
Yep. They're not going to know who.
And I'm just doing them a favor. They should be prepared fully, in case.
Paladin logic.
Very much paladin logic.
That's funny.
All right. Well, you get to enjoy a nice, very well-cooked meal with awesome desserts for dinner with Kovita. And then afterwards, I'll probably say that, dinner's up to an hour and a half, 2 hours kind of thing. What are you all going to do? Are you setting off immediately for the shop? What's going on?
I mean, Sonia's not going to wait. It's like, I'm going to go find out more information before Satari finally hits the exhaustion threshold and falls asleep.
Yeah, taken off with Sonny.
I don't know much about the arcane, so I will not be joining.
Okay. Where are you going?
He is gonna go handle the rest of his deliveries and make a special delivery now that he knows that Sick is awake.
Okay.
Or at least
good.
attempt.
Attempt.
Like, I don't need to go there, but here.
All right. Okay. Well, then we got 2 things to go on. That's awesome. So we'll follow the Matilda's group first. So you all set out from the keep. It's a bright, starry, and moonlit night, and this is like walking the streets of your own town at this point. You've only been here for, a month total so far, but you have really learned the streets of Orishire during that time here, and especially this route along the dock, you've all come to know very well, because you've made this journey oh so many times. Maybe Gaspard not as much, but even Gaspard has made this journey many times. So it's easy enough to quietly make your way towards Matilda's, and when you reach the Emporium, the door is thrown open. The teleportation effect is still not there, of course, and there's kind of the direct entry into the building that is still a little weird. The inside still has the kind of hints of the botanicals and all the different compounds and things that Matilda had stored there, but otherwise it's just a massively empty warehouse. In the middle of the room, though, is 3 or 4 different tables of different makes, all shoved together, that were brought in from the outside, covered in scrolls and papers and different little whirring magical instruments that are, some are glowing, some are clicking, some are spinning, and in the distance you see a couple individuals, all human, over in one corner, seeming to take measurements with some sort of like triangular shaped metallic instrument that has a faint arcane glow to it. And at the tables is Satari. Satari is about 5'1". She's a red tiefling. She has rather large backswept horns. Her face has a decent amount of scarring on it, and her hands and arms especially, and she's wearing kind of like a blacksmith's apron and kind of like a blacksmith looking outfit, so she has her sleeves rolled up, are covered in different scars, all healed at this point, but she's definitely either seen her share of battle or something else during her time, and she is excitedly reviewing a couple fresh sheets of parchment with ink still drying on it as you walk in, and she kind of absent-mindedly clocks you as you walk in the door, glances up over the paper, waves, and then keeps looking at her parchment until her hand drops back down and she's focused.
Hello, Satari.
Hello.
Sorry if we are interrupting. Kavita said you had some news.
1 second. I'm just trying to double. Yes, what?
Kavita said you had news, something about the shop itself? Or residue?
The switch. Yes, I did. Hello.
This is Gaspard.
Hello.
Lovely to meet you.
Professor Satari. Nice to meet you. You are?
Just Gaspard.
Pleasure to meet you. Friend, I take it?
He's one of the other heroes of Orishire with us, yes.
Oh, I think your plushie was sold out when I got my original ones. I don't think I saw one of you.
Oh, that's totally...
Must be very popular.
That's a nice way to look at it.
That's how I would look at it, if it was me. Sorry, many different things to review, and she shoves the papers on the table. Kovita was telling you about the escape hatch plan, or my findings for
Your
that,
theory,
right?
yes.
Yes. So, the best thing that I've been able to determine is that, 1 second, and she reaches under the table and pulls out a massive pile of glowing spaghetti, for lack of a better word, and slams it onto the table, and it's just this shifting mass of like bright golden wires that have a pretty decent glow to them, and she taps it. This is physical manifestation of magic, and this is a very specific way that researchers can archive magical patterns. So best way to think of it is like, say somebody casts a really simple rudimentary spell like alarm. If we were able to use our research techniques on where they cast alarm, even after it was triggered, we would get this stuff in a rough shape of the shape they put alarm in. It's not always the best, but it's also very amazing for magical research because it can give us tangible physical evidence of what transpired ages ago.
Yes, it's people put their will out into the world and it leaves marks.
Yes, it leaves this, and she just throws it on the table. So this, and she like futzes with it and yanks on one thread, and you see it go taut and jerk off into the floor, and there's a bright like yellow light on the floor, and she grabs it and tugs, and you all watch her continue to just add more to the table, and it's as if the See all these people snickering off to the goddamn side. And it looks like she could just keep going forever. And if she does it for like dramatic effect a couple times, this whole building is laced with this.
Yes, that would make sense.
Why does it make sense?
It was just really something else being in here when the shop was here, you know?
But do you understand like how much magic that is? That I've never seen this concentration in any area, even a battlefield that had fireballs being flung back and forth for days at a time. This is unprecedented. This shouldn't be in a building. For like I know this person was apparently very powerful and their shop was magical and enchanted. There's enchanted and then there's this bullshit. And this is a different level that I've never seen in any of my studies around the entire world. I could do a thesis off this alone.
Very special.
She must be very special or very paranoid and have nothing to do other than cast spells, because I don't know how.
I mean, have you ever known the Fae to not be just a little bit extra?
I mean, sure, but
They're not that.
even I would think you even went into the Feywild itself and cast these spells, you would not get this result. It's unfathomable. Anyway, we've been following these threads for days now, and I did find a nexus point. And what's interesting about the nexus point is it looks like it was some sort of a switch. How I know that, I don't want to get into, because I would be giving you a lecture of a university caliber that would last hours. But it was a switch. I promise you that. And based on the way the threads are laid through the building, I want to say that it was a switch that, when triggered, would collapse in upon itself. These threads, at least, these threads back when they were real magic, they collapsed in on itself and teleported it somewhere. Or folded it into space. I don't know. There's a million different things that it could have done. It could have blown the whole thing up. I mean, it didn't, because we're standing in the building. Obviously, that didn't happen, so sorry, don't panic. But I think she built this in as a safety switch, and something caused the safety switch to go off. Either her or someone else.
I don't know what triggered it, but no, this still makes sense.
It looks willing, though. I mean, it could be an alarm that went off. It doesn't seem that way. If I was writing a paper on this, I would say it was a security system that the individual that designed it and cast the magic had to trigger themselves. So I don't think she was under duress. Could be. But from the way that I read the situation, at least, I think she pulled an escape hatch.
That's better than the alternatives, at least.
Yeah, there's many different ways it could have gone that would be much more grim. But this just seems like she used it to get out.
Now, this thread, is there anything else we can tell from it?
Oh, there's a ridiculous amount of data that you can mine from that. That's why I'm not leaving here anytime soon, and why I have my students here as well, because this is a gold mine. But what specifically do you want me to ascertain?
Those sorts of magics usually... Teleportations can be so dangerous compared to other everyday uses of the arcane, you know? It seems likely that if it was something to just do in an emergency, it is probably tethered to a specific place.
If it was anybody other than this lady, maybe. Well, no, actually, scratch that. In general, if you build a system like this, it is not going to be half-assed. I would argue that, yes, teleportation is not as reliable as many other things such as thunderpads, because thunderpads have a network and they are engineered to near perfection at this point. If you are building something into a building that you inhabit to use as a safety switch, you have time. You don't do this shit overnight. I would say it was perfection.
Oh yes, I'm just... If it's something that has to go off that quickly, you can't exactly pick where you are going, you know?
No, I think you would. That's what I think. Based on the way that the threads are woven through the entire structure, this spell had been cast hundreds of times, intricately woven together with focus points. I would have bet if there was another end where this was going, there were pieces from there here used as foci to make sure that you don't do this level of planning and half-ass it. There is no way, at least in my opinion, from what I know of this individual with what they did with this space in the arcane, they knew what the fuck they were doing.
Exactly. That's what I'm meaning. Is like, is there any way we can tell where it was connected to?
I don't believe so. As far as I know, this kind of magic that we use in research is to prove that something happened. A mage cast fireball. There was a battle here. Someone used a teleportation spell. We are at the point with this type of study where we're learning that we can get a little more data here and there. That's one of the reasons why I want to gather as much as I can. But it's not, hi guys, thanks for the raid. We're Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern. We are a TTRPG stream, actual play stream on Mythical Family. Shut up. And I'm the DM. Kira, nice to meet you. Thank you for raiding us. We're in the middle of an episode right now, but we wanted to stop really quick and say hi. So hope you get to hang out and watch us here for a bit. So Satari continues. We can get a lot of data from this kind of arcane residue, but I can't determine a target.
Theoretically,
Hit me.
this area was a sort of cosmic bubble, right? Like inside but outside, realms and all that. Is it possible that she moved the bubble?
That's brilliant. Yes, I think that's it, yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Actually, is that she did move the bubble. She constructed this arcane bubble that was the shop, laced with all this magic, and then she pulled the trigger and teleported it somewhere else. So it's not like she moved the pieces individually. She teleported the entire shop and everything except the actual physical structure, which is the abandoned warehouse we are standing in right now.
So wouldn't that mean that she would be not here, but like not here, but elsewhere?
Her shop appearing in a different place.
Or different the Feywild or something like that.
It's possible.
It's, well, I would hypothesize that she moved the shop to another empty location. So picture an empty building like this somewhere in the world. This magic, while strong, does not bear the very specific signature of interplanar travel. This did not cross a plane. I can tell you that, because if you cross planes, then there's all kinds of funky threads going on, and we've been able to detect that for decades at this point. You don't even need this kind of research magic to prove that interplanar travel happened. So it wasn't interplanar, so no Feywild bullshit, as she said.
Fantastic! That's the best news you could possibly get. I mean, what else would Matilda have to fear besides?
I don't know about best, but that's better.
As
But
far
it
as
does lend credence to Vander's suggestion that we somehow can detect the shop itself.
If it's still in
detects the
this plane-
shop?
Thinking Vander, he had another thing to take care of, but he was suggesting we could perhaps, if the shop is in our plane, locate it through tracking the items in it.
That's bloody brilliant. Locate object, scrying. There's this absolute suite of spells that we could use in that case. Not so much my research tools, general tools, but that's a brilliant idea, because I didn't even think about that possibility, especially if the shop is still coherent. But you would have to actually know something specific that was in that shop that was not generic. And it can't be
like
Matilda, obviously.
all of Matilda's wardrobe.
But do you know a specific piece enough to use magic on, though?
She still has some of my robes.
That could be specific enough, then.
And Vander would. Well, Vander doesn't cast magic. Never mind.
Cast magic with his fists.
Yeah.
With his baking.
Yes.
Yes,
Because he fists the dough.
if they were still
then
in the
jerks
shop,
it up
then
onto the
yes,
floor.
there would be at least one pair of my robes there.
That would be enough, as long as you had someone to conduct the specific... Are you asking me to do it?
Hey, if you or a recommendation, it's not magic, I know.
I mean, it's magic, I know. It's magic, I know very well. It's just, after what happened to your friend,
We are hoping that something that specific would not be watched after. But
it doesn't make any sense that it would. The scrying is blocking against scrying on an individual, very common. Well, not common, but understandable why they would do that. individual items in the shop, especially your robes, yeah, they're probably not protected. I can
do locate object.
You know it?
I do know it.
Are you comfortable doing it?
Yes. Yes, I
Are
am.
you able to protect yourself against some unexpected backlash, like with your friend?
I'm sure I can.
What wards do you have on yourself, or what defensive spells are you casting then? Again, not that her robes should be protected, but I am trying to think of all options here.
You're concerned, yes.
That elf nearly had her brains blown out her nose as far as I
Yes,
saw, so...
I know. I know.
Well, I can bless myself.
That is not protection from an arcane backlash, my dear.
I have a strongness of mind and spirit that I'm sure will be very protective.
As I said, I doubt you have anything to worry about. It was just a suggestion.
Sonny, any objections?
No, is there anything I can do to assist you?
If you can do anything to protect me, I suppose that would be beneficial.
Cass, worst case scenario, there is no one that I would trust to defy any sort of danger than you. And I give you a point of bardic inspiration.
Nice.
Cass,
What's your bard die now? Has it changed?
I have to check the app, but I believe it's still a D6.
Cool. And then, what Sonny will do is I can do a little bit. And, just like, come here for a moment.
Okay.
And she will just, like, draw her ritual knife, and, like, everyone's already seen dozens and dozens of times at this point, just casually cut her hand open, and then trace a blood symbol on your forehead, and you have bless on you.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
And Satari's just watching with like a very fascinated look.
So you get an additional D4 on saving throws.
All right. Gonna cast locate object in Sonny's robes.
Okay. Did you happen to look the spell up before you cast it?
Yes, concentration 10 times.
And?
I need a forked twig. And
And?
I needed to be within 30. Oh, is within 1,000 feet of you.
So that one's not going to work.
You can still cast it though.
I mean, maybe she just popped over to the neighboring abandoned building.
So, you still cast locate object. You close your eyes and you kind of see a bird's eye view of 1,000 feet around you, very hazily in like your mind. And you don't see Sani's robes, but you do see like a weird sprinkling of green dots that covers the entire 1,000-foot area.
There's a bunch of green dots in the area. Not your robes. This is a limited spell. I forgot. Can't detect her on like a different continent or really even on the other side of the city.
Oh, I thought you knew that. I thought you were going for in the same like area.
I'm still new to this, hence the reading.
That's
yeah.
fine. That I still applaud the attempt. Green dots, is that what you see?
Yes, green dots.
That's most likely because the spell can't get a typical read on what you're looking for. That's pretty common.
Okay.
If her robes were here, you'd get a bright green dot if green's the color you typically associate with your own magic.
Yes.
Then the spell just didn't see it.
Okay. Well, suppose we can try scrying on the object.
Scrying would have more of the range that I think that you're looking for. Do any of you know it?
No.
I can cast a sort of sensor and location, but I don't know where to look, unfortunately.
How does it work?
If I know of some place, I can essentially create a sort of arcane sensor. But again, I would need some sort of indication.
You know the shop. If the shop itself is what moved.
What's the actual Name of the spell?
Clairvoyance.
Oh, this is Atari asking still.
Oh,
but
sorry.
Just so you know, it wasn't me.
Clairvoyance is known as.
Have you cast it very often?
Recently, yes.
So, newer caster then.
Yes, a relatively new spell for me.
I am not sure that it would... It might work. It might work.
That's good enough for me. I no hesitation.
It might work, but again, that is limited to 1 mile.
Oh,
What you're thinking of most likely in this case is an actual scrying spell, but I will remind you, scrying is targeted on a living being, not shop contents. So you would need to go around a city using what you just did, which I think is actually a very valid tool that we have used in research before, but you'd have to comb a city with it, which 1,000-foot range, you can get through most cities, within a day. But it's not the most effective. Scrying, in my opinion, is the most effective way to hunt for someone. So you would need to, again, target Matilda with it, or someone that would be with Matilda, or another living creature. If her shop had animals in it, this would be a great time to tell me, or tell you.
Not that I saw, no.
Well,
No
then you're out of luck.
So, Scalea, did she cast scry or sending?
Tried to do ascending.
Sending. So don't do that. Would be the
Definitely don't do that.
okay. Hmm. I could do that. Perhaps the chance Scalea got something back.
Maybe.
If she ever wakes up, she might have.
It's like the hand from SpongeBob.
I know, it's like the hand from SpongeBob. A hydrator, was it from Anomaly? Oh, okay.
Thank you, Amber.
Yeah, thank you, Amber. Hydrator. Nice. Blackberry lemonade. It just, bam! Like, okay, it's time to drink, apparently.
Apparently.
I don't know how to open my chat.
If she ever wakes up, maybe she did get something before the backlash, but I doubt it.
It sounds like she might be awake, but her order is waiting until she's more recovered.
Really? Oh, I guess I guess that Kofita just hasn't been able to tell me yet, or that she's not in a space to talk, because I have a bookload of questions for her. You don't tend to see that kind of magic. It exists. I have studied it, but it's just kind of rare that that's in place, especially on a missing person.
Would it be bad form for me to cast sending on her? I mean, she just woke up, but I mean,
It might be a little rude, yes.
oh, manners is bothersome.
A little uncouth.
Given the circumstances,
I mean, it's not like you're going to hurt her or anything.
no,
Just to
but
play the tiefling's advocate.
I won't stop you, but considering what happened to her, it might not be the best approach.
We'll give it time if they bar us from her for an extended period of time. I will
Oh,
ensure
then
that.
very much agreed.
Yes.
I feel like Vander will probably try to talk anyway, so.
Oh, right, Vander was going there. Okay, yes.
We can get
you-
some more information from him.
You could also, bit of a side tangent, you could try to find a professor of divination, or somebody that's specializes in divination. Doesn't have to be a professor, forgive my academia. But there are a lot of edge cases that divination practitioners might be able to use to maybe help you. They are typically limited by range, just like most of these spells are, but there are a few that can punch a bit farther in a bit of a higher weight class than a mile, at least.
Do you know of anyone specific?
Divination's not really a popular one, in my opinion, or at least in the academic circles that I run in. I know of one that I personally would say is kind of on the more bleeding edge, kind of like myself in their field, which is divination. They are kind of hard to get a hold of. They're on a different continent, but if you're that desperate, you could always go try and talk to them.
What continent?
Quandir.
We were going to go there anyway, possibly.
Yeah.
Well, it's at my alma mater, one of the professors at the university that I trained at. Edge case, though. Divination's a weird magic. In fact, many people still don't like to even call it magic, considering how it's a crapshoot half the time. What you get, at least us in Arcane feel that way about them. But she's very smart, and she might knows more than me, at least in this case, about this type of magic. So,
What is her name?
uh, depends on who you ask. She is the headmistress right now of the university that I went to. The problem about the university that I went to is you have to earn your way in to the Eye. It is a floating university that moves around Kwandir. It has been there for hundreds of years, and let's just say admission is difficult. Just call her headmistress. If you find the Eye and get in, you'll know who she is. Doesn't really have a specific name these days, though.
Let's see.
I would say it's one of the more difficult choices you could make to try and find someone to help with this, but it might be the only one that you have if scrying is out of the question. Could always just have a bunch of people line up and scry one after another, and eventually you're going to get through. Scientifically. Might kill a couple people, but at least you'll find out.
Yeah, let's not do that.
In the name of science.
No.
I'm in with a subordinate of Anomaly. I mean, they might talk to me.
Do you suppose anyone in the conglomerate would be able to do such divinations as well?
I'm not entirely certain. I mean, I sort of made a friend in Vinzor, but they didn't really assist. They more so didn't stop us, which means maybe they're friendly. I mean, as far as magical friends go, I feel like conglomerate is...
I mean, with what Kovita has told us about how things have changed, maybe they would be more friendly now, but you're not just some person who walked up and said, "Don't cause a problem for us."
There's a high chance there could be someone there that's good at divination. The thing is, it's hard to find the people that are good at divination because they see you coming.
Again, I do like your panache.
Thank you.
I'll reach out to them.
If you have a way to contact them, then that could be something to do before we pick anywhere to go.
Looks like it's time to practice that sending.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so I can do that now or later. It's up to you guys. But...
If you want to try it.
Sure, absolutely.
What do you remember about your friend?
That's the name I don't remember off the top of my head, but
Didn't write her name down.
I may have written her name down, but I have a lot of notes.
It's the problem of being too detailed in your notes. Is where did I write that detail?
I mean, yeah, I suffer from that too.
All important looking people.
So now you got a name.
Okay, so this is it's from October.
I'm so curious if you actually have it written down or not. Because you really liked her.
I did really like her. I don't know who Tiln Nurmalan is, but that wasn't them.
That's Skalea's last name.
Ah.
It wasn't Elia, was it? That was a name Priya was going by, right?
It wasn't this one.
My note, I bought a bugle. I still have that.
Oh my god.
To save you the time from looking, is Neswin.
Neswin?
Neswin.
Okay.
Neswin Springfront, but you didn't get the last name, but her name's Neswin. She would have told you Neswin.
Okay, hello, Neswin. This is Gaspard, Friendly Face. Wait, hello, Neswin. This is Gaspard, Friendly Face from Vinzor. Would you possibly be able to help with tracing magical energy or divination or know someone? That's it.
Okay, so spell goes off. You believe it has sent. There's a delay of like 10, 15 seconds or so, and you get the response in her kind of dreary, worn down voice, and she goes, "You're alive?"
Cast it again. spell is limited. I am fine.
Oh, she knows it's limited.
Would love any information and open to friendly discourse.
She responds, and you now learn something interesting about scrying, that apparently laughing doesn't count towards the word limit, because she just chortles for a good 10 seconds. It doesn't seem to affect the scrying spell at all. So your head is filled with the sound of that little gnome laughing her ass off.
You will just see like Gaspard like smile, but then cringe, and then smile again.
Are you all right?
I'm listening. I'm on a call.
Okay. Whew. There's a few people that practice the magic that you're talking about. Do you need names? More laughter.
What was it?
I really hope she reaches out to me again.
Is it going well?
So she responded, but with questions, and I can't exactly
Like, what
return the correspondence.
what did she say?
She asked me if I needed names, which was my request, so hopefully she figures out. Oh, I really like her, but this is frustrating. I will try again tomorrow.
That is, at least she seems willing to help. You told her it was important, yes?
I mean, I would assume in the context of our original meeting that you would understand that we are very important people.
So
okay,
you
don't
didn't.
seem too eager.
I mean, I told her the importance of the spell I cast and the limitations.
Mm-hmm. You told a mage how sending works?
I told the mage of my own inferiority, and look, I tried. I mean, we're gonna basically we can always
No,
return to this. Neswin is
I appreciate it. Just maybe let her know how this is kind of a bit more important.
yes, certainly. I will
Sleep on it
I will sleep on it.
and try again tomorrow.
Exactly. We're all learning.
I would offer to help, but that's not how sending works.
Yeah, it was very special circumstances with Skalea.
So you've used all your spells, I take it, for that
I mean,
long?
all of my third level spells.
Okay.
And that's when the dragon hits.
So we reconnoiter with Vander.
Yes, let's see how he's doing. We have some ideas now.
Well, I will keep...
Satari, thank you very much.
Oh, of course. This is not to sound harsh and cold, but this is a fascinating incident, and I'm very happy to be here and be part of it. I'm not happy that your friend disappeared. I'm happy that I get to study something of this nature. Hopefully, you see the line in the middle there. But I'm going to keep studying this, and if I make any breakthroughs, I'll let you know. I'd be very curious about who your contact recommends as well. Please run the name through me, and I might know them.
Sure. If I send you a sending spell,
Yes.
it will be urgent. And I think we all understand that now.
I mean, in this case, now I do. Plus, I can cast it a lot more.
We are surrounded by such impressive people.
I also keep a bag of scrolls of sending. Like, who doesn't at this point in your life?
My source for such things is missing.
You'll get
so
there. You'll get there. But I will report anything that I find, and I wish you luck. I definitely want to talk to the elf, Sklea, if when she feels better, to have a lot of questions about that. So,
We'll see if her knights will let her.
okay. Perfect. So you guys are going to head back toward the keep? Cool.
Just leave a little stack of books on her table.
Yep. She slides over another stack if you want.
Yes, so much reading to do.
All right.
What are you reading?
Let's see. Basics of Arcane Theory. Ritual Spellcasting for Beginners.
First year course.
I got you.
All right, so you guys are going to head back on the same familiar walk towards the keep and hopefully meet up with Vander, who now we get to find out what happens with Vander after the break, because we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a quick break. So we're going to go ahead and take a 10-15-minute break, let everybody get up, walk around, get some drinks, and then we're going to go ahead and pick back up here with Vander at the keep while he's making his special bakery deliveries, and we'll see what he gets up to. Mischievous Furblog. Is that the sound a mischievous Furblog makes?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll be back very soon. We're still doing the thing with the mics, right? Are we?
Yeah.
I don't
mean, I'm
remember
okay
it
with
I
being
just forgot.
canceled.
Say
I
what?
don't remember it being canceled. We just
Yeah.
weren't when
I
everything
just
was
don't know if we
remote
were
for a
ready
few
for it
weeks.
or not. So the mics may or may not be on during the break where you get to hear us and chat with us in chat. If not, we will see you in 15 minutes. But we are going to go on a break. We'll be right back. Okay, we'll leave live mics live. But we'll see you very soon.
Then I had to really quick hit live back again because I wasn't in studio mode, so it immediately changed.
I enjoy playing a character as they're developing their inferiority complex. You know? It's like, I can do this cool thing. Immediate fail.
Like, hey, you told her it was important, right? No. I thought that was implied.
Yeah, just like, hey, remember when we met at that assassination attempt?
Maybe next time leave that it's a missing person.
I should have known the person that I met where it's like, so we're gonna do it now, and they're like, cool, bye. Like, you should have known that was gonna happen. Yeah, AMA. Ask me anything. Preferably related to the stream.
Preferably yes.
If you need to know a hypotenuse or something like that.
Thanks for fun QA time.
Welcome to Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern. Hot mice.
Been gone too long, right? You've forgotten everybody's name. You're getting old.
The babiest person in the room.
Okay, what's your favorite color?
Guess what is your favorite color?
I would say a nice sage green. If you ever played Halo 1, the darkest green armor, that was my color.
Yep.
Not lightish red
Oh yes.
from Halo.
Mine is red.
Oh donuts. Red?
Actual red. Like
Gray,
a good
favorite color?
burgundy.
I like blue.
Blue.
I also like
My
orange.
favorite color is the color of my Jeep, so
Ah.
Technically, it's bikini.
yeah.
Can you not access chat
That's the
still?
color?
Bikini
It's called bikini.
Oh, cool.
Like I can see it.
And I think Sammy already knows mine. Mine's orange.
Who said coffee?
That's weird.
As a color?
I think so.
I don't think.
Sammy asked that. Oh, what's your favorite coffee?
Oh.
Oh, I think Sammy's asking what your favorite coffee is.
No.
I no longer drink
The
coffee.
coffee in somebody else's cup.
Oh, Sammy says yes, yes. Oh, Joe does not like coffee.
Sammy knows that. Her channel points are coffee beans.
Uh-oh.
Sammy likes her coffee.
I like mine drowned in coffee creamer.
Mm,
I mostly just want to drink the coffee creamer. I add the coffee, so it's a little bit more acceptable.
got it.
I am entirely too much of an extra bitch about coffee to get into it right now, but suffice it to say I roast my own shit at home half the time.
You know, I like a good diner coffee. Just like the coffeeest of coffee.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Do you drink it black?
Yes.
Gets the hair on your chest, you know, it
Yeah. No, my mom taught me
I didn't like
that.
coffee, steamed cream.
I like a 2,000 calorie
Yeah,
drink.
cold brew is good too, sweetie.
yeah, I want my daily intake to be 1 cup.
Exactly. Let's go to Starbucks.
appreciating these questions.
Yeah.
Have to look into that. That's weird. And of course,
You're appreciated.
you can't just ask who can't chat because they can't answer us.
3 to 5 cups. I definitely
Well, they've been throwing the sheet.
5 is not yet generally a number that I cross,
Thank
but
you,
3
Amber,
is
for
pretty.
the spider updates. It's definitely what we need.
I want a spider update.
Just feed it to the dog.
I love spiders, dude.
Don't feed it to the dog.
I mean,
what
it's
type of
better for the
spider?
dog to eat that than somebody's altar.
Yeah.
Let me just see it by
Okay. I was just making sure I hit the menu thing. I did this time.
Favorite animal?
Crazy.
Not spiders.
I love cats.
I can see that.
I have a cat. It's
Danny
obligated.
wants to know what is everyone's favorite animal.
A wolf. Go pack.
Mine used to be. Well, I would say I'm not witchy, but like cats and bats, 100%.
Yeah, cats.
If it can be a familiar, I love it.
Anything can be a familiar.
Mine will be
Oh,
sad.
that's true.
Even you.
That would be horrifying.
I do like sky puppies.
What was that?
Sky puppies.
It's a bat.
Bats.
Oh, okay.
Some of them look very much like bats.
I've always thought of them more cat-like. I've had cats that look like bats so much.
And then I'm just going to answer the question with, I'm playing the shark girl. Do the math.
It's not a Cthulhu monster, is octopus.
Octopi are a close second. Octopi are a very close second.
What's your favorite marine animal?
I mean, if sharks and octopi are 1 and 2, those are already both marine animals.
Yeah, but you have to pick one.
Again, sharks are in the first
Oh.
place. Octopi are right below them.
Dumb. Shut up. This goes for everybody.
I don't like sea creatures. There's just something about like.
Peta likes you.
Yes. I guess octopi as well, just because like they recognize faces, which is kind of cool. It's like maybe they'll be friends, but like they have such power in their dominion that like if I'm in water and there's a creature there, I surrender. Like my fate is yours to determine.
Okay. Then what sea creature would you be eaten by then?
Be eaten by.
Yeah. If you had to surrender to.
One of those ones that like defies definition of life, like the ones that like breathe off of lava toxins in the sea depth.
Like
I feel like
magma snails.
yeah, something like that.
My favorite sea creature is the otter.
Yeah.
Oh, mammals. Yeah, okay. Wait.
It's a sea creature.
That technically counts, I suppose.
And
Where you
dolphins are
find
fun.
them?
Consider the Mora Mora.
A sea bunny? Hold on.
Oh yeah, they're so
adorable.
cute.
What?
I think they're a type of like sea cucumber
Something
type
like that.
thing, but they look like rabbits.
Oh my god, that is adorable. This is actually making me think, you know what? Axolotls.
Oh, axolotls.
They are
good.
very adorable.
They
yeah.
are super adorable.
How very basic.
I will. I will say this: for the longest time, I referred to shrimp as sea crickets.
No, it's accurate.
Yeah.
There's an actual sea cricket though,
Oh,
and it's a hideous creature.
Oh.
So I feel kind of bad calling shrimp that for years.
I need to look that up.
Sea crickets are pretty ugly.
Is he just in shrimp erasure?
On behalf of all the shrimp that I've been calling these
Ah!
horrific
Yeah,
creatures.
they're pretty ugly, right?
Ew.
I'm not looking.
Oh.
What are you talking
It's like a cricket, but worse.
Yeah, it's so cute.
It's like the aquatic version of the potato bug. It's really ugly.
Do not want to know.
We're talking about creatures.
We're talking about the eldritch horrors that live in the abyss of the ocean.
Oh, we have a new question. What type of music is everyone's favorite to listen to?
I'm not picky.
I'm into it.
ABC.
Oh.
Anything but country.
Thank you.
Okay,
Ah.
anything but modern country. Modern country is just the equivalent of pop. And it's
There is,
Country,
there, yeah,
It's fun.
there is a decent amount of modern country, but as a kid that grew up in Montana, fuck country, at least old country.
Fair enough. However, your and my definition of modern is probably different because I'm thinking like, man,
who shot Liberty Balance.
Like,
Big
okay,
iron on his head.
everyone. Okay, that's good. That's good. I'm talking about like current.
That wasn't about a truck or a crazy girl beating up a truck.
Exactly.
They
Yeah.
don't know how to treat a woman.
Exactly. Okay.
Hold
yes.
on. Crazy girl beating up a truck is a fucking mood, though.
All right. We can all get behind chicken fried though.
There is plenty. Sam Hunt is his name Sam Hunt? There's a couple good country artists that are like newer ones. Not Sam
One I
Hunt.
really like is James Aldean.
Okay, I know that name. -ish.
Yeah.
And
And
not
he has a
Sam
song
Hunt.
that goes, "When she says baby, something, something, blah, blah, blah." I like that one.
How I describe every song. Like 2 words.
Is it Stapleton or Stapleton? Or Stapleton?
Stapleton, I think.
Stapleton?
Yeah, Stapleton.
The Tennessee whiskey guy. I don't like his music, but that guy is a hell of a musician.
I don't think I've heard his stuff. I probably have, I just can't put it.
I don't like his output, but I appreciate his talent.
Gotcha, nice. I like the Brothers Bright. They're also really good, but they might be more considered folklore-esque country.
I do like folk, like revival that we have going on, like Hozier.
It's
Hosier's good.
Yeah.
It's
An F or a P.
it-
Folk or folk?
F.
Folk.
it's kind of a I hate how it's been. It's a meme now to say that I listen to a little bit of everything because it is kind of a fucking annoying thing that people say, but like that is me because I do like I have the way I listen to Spotify is I listen to my Discover Weekly every week and I like things and my liked list is like 1,000+ songs and I just randomly go through it because I
There you
just
go.
I want a bit of this. I want to listen to Call on Me by Eric Fried because I don't know, I feel gay all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Or then I want to listen to a bunch of modern shit and like it goes all over the place. I like instrumental music. I actually like a lot of instrumental music and I'd say probably my most played style of music on my Spotify right now is cyberpunk. And that's not really a
Yeah.
genre, but it's like not hard. It's not even hard. It's just a very specific type of like dark EDM that is also can be like very action focused, upbeat. I don't know. I really like cyberpunk quote unquote music. It
Very crunchy and 80s synth too.
not sometimes yeah, but that's not the stuff I'm thinking of. Like that's more synthwave. Like synthwave is good, but like I like a very specific subset that is just roughly called cyberpunk. Hard to say what it is. But EDM is I usually just tell people I like EDM because electronic music is a massive umbrella and it all fits under EDM. So
I got into EDM because of like Mega Man remixes back in
Oh
the
my
year 2000.
goodness, what a
Avicii.
I mean-
nerd.
Yep.
yeah,
Mega Man
Avicii
was
is who I got into.
an onboarding point for a lot of people
Exactly.
getting into electronic music.
No, Avicii's the whole reason, like the whole way I got in. Well, actually, it was Tiesto, but that quickly led to Avicii, and then Avicii got me into EDM. And have you ever seen his music video for Silhouettes? Because it's a trans video. Yeah, it's a great video that shows a girl transitioning, and he cast move.
You two were sitting so still we couldn't tell if the
Literally,
camera was frozen.
yeah.
Move more.
Move before we change cameras or go back to live.
Live check. Everybody
Sleepy, yes.
live?
Mega Man 2 is like such a good OST.
Well, everybody that grew up with like 8-bit video games and stuff too, you're just like, I love these soundtracks.
Too
So,
nostalgic, yeah.
yeah.
Pretty much. Folk music, the Crane Wives,
They are good.
they are fantastic.
Yes. Forgot they existed.
How
I
dare you.
mean, you've basically seen my playlists and all the weird bullshit overlap we have. Just like, who the
Yeah.
fuck else listens to Will Wood?
Yeah, exactly. Then Jenna basically will just be like, yeah, like people ask, like, what does Nat listen to? And it's like, nothing that you would know is generally like the answer that we go with. It's
I
not,
mean, that
like a
also
little bit
is
of
like
everything, but
pretentious-y as fuck too, but like.
It's not even pretentious-y. It's just like I have a problem and I don't know how to explain.
I mean, that's more of a vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite art style is my art style. Ah!
Unknown.
You do draw a good picture.
Thanks. Smart.
Oh God, Ray, that was adorable.
Thanks.
Just transitioning back to live.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have right as he said that.
Oh my gosh.
If you guys wanna.
By the way, what's the Twitter link everybody can look at for your
Oh
art?
no.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I would be embarrassed.
I mean, you're popular.
Not really.
Really?
I
You're
don't
popular.
think so.
I think you're popular.
I don't know.
Say so.
You've got some connections.
You got some connections.
I'm just that person, you know?
You've got a fan in chat. Like you're.
Yes, J-Rock. I have no idea what J-Metal is, but now I'm going to look that up.
It's Japanese metal.
Oh, now I want to
But
listen.
the way that it was spelled made me...
I think that was just a typo.
It's got some metal on it.
Well, anyway, J-Rock is amazing. Scandal, if you... What?
Huh?
You making fun of us? Uh-huh. There's a Japanese group band called Scandal who is utterly amazing and is J-Rock, and they are just fucking awesome. And they have like 5 or 6 albums now. They've done the typical thing of done a couple songs for famous anime openings and endings and stuff, but they are just a solid rock band, and they are amazing J-Rock.
Psychopaths people?
Say what?
Do they do psychopath?
No,
Okay.
I don't think they did
so.
Okay, because abnormalize is like ASMR.
Oh, you turned it on. I keep looking at it because that's where my gaze naturally goes. But okay, it looks like we're back on the video then as we're talking about J-Rock, cyberpunk music, and folk music, and country music, and all sorts of good things. So thank you for the question and for everybody sharing what kind of music they like.
The
Now the
moment we
camera's
got
on
on
it.
J-Rock, I'm trying to find a song. Yeah.
Well, we'll wait for you to find the song before we jump back in.
No, we can jump back
Everybody
into
stare at Ray.
It is your turn.
Oh my god.
Yes, we are all staring.
Oh, look, he's blushing!
I don't like attention. But it's like, I think it's an anime opening at the
honey,
same
you
time.
don't like attention, but you are on a Twitch stream.
Don't perceive me.
That is the best thing.
That's one of my favorite neurodivergent phrases is "don't perceive me." You realize you have a camera aimed right at your face, right?
Yeah, you do.
There. I don't think I'll be able to find it, but it is such a good song.
Do not do a perceive.
I'll find it another
The
time.
song will be unperceived. You shall remain perceived.
I've been telling my phone.
All right. Well, thank you for hanging out with us during our break and chatting with us. One of my favorite parts of the game for sure is getting to chat with everybody in chat and the random things that we talk about. I think that's the first DM snort since we've been back, actually, Ray. So you have the honor of the
Yep.
first DM snort.
It's always a pleasure.
Yes. Anyway,
Dropped it again.
yes, back to the game. So we'll go ahead and pick back up. So Gaspard, Sani, and Cass, you're making your way back from what used to be Matilda's Emporium after talking to Satari. And we'll rewind time a bit and focus on Vander back at the Orishire Guard's Keep. So you said you had a couple deliveries to make, and Scalea was just one of them. So where else are you dropping off goods, or what did you do after everyone left?
So all those baked goods, the casks and stuff that he had prepped, was all for the guards.
Oh, okay. So just like going around are you going around the keep like a Santa Furblog, giving out baked goods?
To a degree, to make it easier on himself, he's just kind of dropping it at various locations.
Okay.
That's become a sort of norm.
Is it? I was gonna say, is this the first time he's done this, or is this something
Definitely not.
Okay, so he's been doing this for like the last 2 weeks, like making things and then leaving it for the guards.
Yeah, it helps him busy his mind so he doesn't focus on how much guilt he feels.
Oh. Wee baby. Oh my God,
Wait,
they're guilt-baked goods.
The best kind.
Yeah. An entire generation can relate to that, I'm sure. Groans through the studio. That is amazing. So as you go around, so I guess it's just like random spots in the keep,
Yeah.
like the keep building, but out like just everywhere, like random spots that you've found that people congregate kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay. You'll notice that, and this has been happening for the last couple days, there's always a couple people hanging out near these spots now at the times that you usually make the drops.
Oh my
And you
gosh.
have quickly become the favorite in the keep for providing these snacks to the guards. So you have noticed a couple times as you, to kind of fill in the 2-week gap that we had of where you've been doing this, after your first couple deliveries, you noticed in the kitchen in the diplomatic quarters better materials just showing up. Like actual fresh flour instead of the stale flour that had been in there for God knows how long, and a nicer set of pots and pans, and a couple different kinds of sugar, and it looks like the guards were feeding you better supplies
Aw.
as a way of saying thank you and also please give us more.
That is so cute.
Yep. So you get to go around, make your drop off, say, hi to a couple of the guards who you've seen multiple times and know. And then eventually you can make your way to where Skalea is. And Skalea is on one of the upper floors in the keep, the floor above Kovita's, which typically seems like it's used for overflow rooms. Nobody else is up there currently besides the room they took over for her. And there are 2 guards stationed at the bottom of the stairwell, but they're Kovita's guards, at least at the bottom of the stairwell. And they see you and just wave you past.
Gotcha. Okay.
And they actually ask, are there new... Did you end up dropping anything off tonight by chance? What was it tonight?
I got some beer, and then I have what is it? What was it?
You were the one that came up with the name.
No, it's an actual food.
Well, no, I know, but I don't
Okay,
remember it off the top of my head. Gosh, started with a K, didn't it? Insert word here.
Insert word here.
I was really curious to look it up too because I've never heard of it before.
It's basically like a sort of pastry donut center with like a sausage traditionally in there.
Really? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Kolache. There it is. Ah!
Say it again.
A kolache.
Kolache. What nationality is it?
I think it's Mexican.
Really? I'm gonna have to look it up because that sounds amazing. So they smile and the guard that's talking to you goes, well, thank you so much. I'm gonna take my break down. The other one rolls their eyes and like, yeah, go. Bring me some back. And they just wave you through to go up to the top level.
Cool. He has a special little box prepped for her. Full, like if he can't see her, it's
Yeah.
sort of like refreshments with her.
But you have a box
Yeah,
with
like
you.
tea, like a kettle that she can warm up herself for, and like several
I love it.
teas, and then pastries, cookies, and then kolaches.
Okay. All right. So you climb the staircase. It's kind of a narrow staircase. It winds very sharply up. This definitely looks like more of an attic area that probably was quarters for servants back in the day, like servants that served royalty like directly, like bodyguards and stuff like that perhaps. But it's just rooms at this point, and it's sparsely decorated, if at all, up on this floor. But as you reach the top of the stairs, you immediately see that one of the rooms near the stairs is the one that Skalea is in, because it looks like the only one with the door closed right now. And outside of it is a rather burly looking human. You've seen him once or twice, and you saw him specifically when the Silver Knights showed up to get Skalea. He's about 6'1", very built, has a very thick, long, dark black beard, and is still in the exact same armor as far as you know as when he arrived. The armor is gorgeous and is not only silver but has these shades of royal and light blue etched into the metal. His cape is a silver cloak that has blue and gold threads through it, and there's intricate designs of griffins and other kind of like, you think you see a dragon on there, and other kind of like flying creatures. So the armor's like amazing. The man inside, not so much, because he's been the gruff one that kind of wrestled Skalea out of the room, and they all forcefully took charge of the unconscious woman and wasn't really nice about it the whole time. As you walk up there, make a perception check.
6.
Here I was thinking that laugh meant that it was a high roll.
You should know better by
I
now.
should know better. All right, so you reach the top of the stairs, and the guard immediately like kind of tenses and looks at you, but there's also a glint of some recognition in his eyes, and he goes, "Yeah, what are you doing up here?"
I heard she was awake, so I thought I would bring her some refreshments, food, tea.
I'm not sure I can accept anything after what happened. There's a chance that it could be poisoned.
I mean, I made it myself, but I have no intention to poison her.
I mean, weren't you with her when she was attacked?
I'm the one that tried to, well, kept her alive.
And you just see him like sizing you up as if for a fight almost.
I brought you some as well, if you would like.
So you mean to poison me as well then?
No. If you want, I can eat with you.
So sweet. um,
I understand your mistrust, but I'm not your enemy, I promise.
don't take it personally. My job is to see enemies everywhere. I don't think it's a good idea for her to have anything from the outside at this moment. And as he says that, the door creaks open behind him, and you see some bit of metal, probably a hilt or something like that, pop out and cock him on the back of the head. Not hard, not hard enough to knock the guy out, but something hits him from the back of the head and he goes, ah! And you see a familiar face lean over to the side, and familiar because it's Skalea, obviously, but her eyes are both bloodshot red. She has dark bags under them, and she doesn't look that good. But she's wearing a multi-layered robe and has some kind of boots, like thick boots on her feet, and she leans around him and goes, "Come here. Leave him alone." And she shoves him quite easily for some reason. And you see that she has her rapier still in the like sheath in her hand, and she pushes him to the side, and he just kind of grumbles and looks off like sheepishly, and she gestures for you to come in the room.
He's gonna shuffle on in.
Slams the door behind, locks.
Oh my god!
And she sighs and slumps back against the door and looks at you with said bloodshot eyes. Hi.
Hi, I brought you some stuff.
Oh God, is it food?
Yes.
Thank you. And she drops the rapier, clatters before she grabs the box, and she collapses like cross-legged and tears it open. What's inside?
There is cookies, danishes, and some other pastries, and then the kolaches as well. And then that's because that's a lot of bread.
Yeah.
There's probably something more hearty like a soup.
In there as well.
Yeah. And then there's the kettle and the other teas. So he'll pull that out and start it for her.
She lets you do that, and then as soon as she sees the insides, her eyes kind of light up like a kid at a candy store, and she immediately goes for the cookies, grabs two of them, and shoves them in her mouth in the most indignified way possible, and just chews on them, and looks so happy as she does so, and she just leans back and closes her eyes, and tears through that box in rapid order to the point where you might worry that she's going to choke on all the bread and all the dry stuff that you just brought. She coughs a couple times and she's fine during all of it. And eventually she opens her eyes and looks up. You were over making the tea, I assume. And she looks over and she goes, "Sorry for them being assholes."
It's okay. I understand that they're worried about you.
They're worried about me, but they could be nicer about it. But I'm sure you've all been put through the ringer while I've been out.
Yeah, not too bad, I'd say. I think you probably had the worst of it. How are you feeling?
Like shit.
I
I was going to come up with something clever about a giant animal of some type, like sitting on me or trampling me, but I can't remember the name of a giant animal right now.
It's okay.
Bad, though. They didn't interrogate you or hurt you, did they?
No.
Okay. They're good people. Very good people. They're very gung-ho, especially in this kind of a circumstance. So you're not seeing them at their best, even though this is them at their best of doing their job, if that makes sense. I can't talk right now.
No, it's okay. They're on edge, so...
They're very on edge, yes. They're the only ones that showed up from Arlia. Did anyone else come?
Not that I've been aware of.
They're barely telling me things because they feel like my disposition is not improved enough yet to tell me things, which is ridiculous because I'm their commanding officer. Are you making tea?
I am.
Thank you. This
Yes,
is
I am.
delicious.
I'm glad. There's raspberry cookies, blueberry, and the tea is like an infusion.
You like look down at the tea and look back up, and she has chipmunk cheeks because
Nope.
she's stuffed more. And she ends up eating, choking those down as well. I'm sorry, I'm famished.
It's okay.
How long have I been out? They
Uh,
told me a day or two. I think they're lying.
They were lying.
How much were they lying?
2 weeks.
Fucking liars. They handle me with kid gloves, and I hate it, to say the least. But hopefully I'll beat it into their heads one day or another. They don't need to treat me like this. So
There you go.
they're used to previous commanders that apparently were delicate little creatures. So
I don't imagine a commander to be delicate.
in certain organizations around the world, you're probably going to see it with how you all seem to be set on adventuring. A lot of people in power tend to be the most delicate flowers in the entire world because they get used to being protected and coddled and everything like that. And even if they were once a battle-weary warrior, they have long forgotten anything to do with that, and they want to be taken care of and waited on like a noble. So, this just reminds me too much of my childhood because I was a noble that went the other direction. So, anyway, they're just annoying me right now, and it's not what I needed waking up. So I'm very happy to see a friendly face, especially your face, because I needed someone other than them.
I'm happy to see your face as well. I was very worried.
If I saw somebody out for 2 weeks, I would be really worried too. Is there any idea what really happened?
They're still figuring it out, but they think they might have a lead. So that's good. I don't know a lot of magic, so it's all like, I don't know. I don't really understand a lot of it, but they said it's good. And we're getting a boat, which is cool.
Wait, how are you getting a boat? Did you buy a boat? Did you make what?
The city is giving us a boat.
Oh, Orishire is. Well, that's nice. I mean, you guys deserve at least that, and now you don't have to rely on that lady, the one with the red hair, Sykes, or
Yeah.
other people.
She was cool.
She was cool, but it's nice having your own things where you don't have to worry about that. And she grabs a cookie and continues to eat through the box as she leans against the door, sitting cross-legged. I saw some weird stuff when I did that scry.
What did you see? And he'll pour her some tea.
She will take it the second it's available and just sit there and do the kind of like letting it warm the hands thing and breathing the steam in before drinking, taking her time between everything. I saw Matilda, at least just a face, very briefly, and then I saw, I don't really know how to describe it. It was some kind of a black inky demon. I think I just saw a spell. I don't think I actually saw a person. I think I just ran face first into some kind of a spell, but it looked like a demon and it attacked my brain. That sounds really bad saying that out loud. It sounded better in my head. I closed my eyes, I cast the spell, and I saw a brief flash of Matilda's face, at least what I think Matilda looks like, and then this black demon inkish thing, and then I just remember some of the worst pain I've ever felt. It felt like 2 nails were being driven up my nose, and nothing. And then I woke up here. No dreams, as far as I know. I just went somewhere else for 2 weeks. Apparently 2 weeks.
That's scary.
It was terrifying, to say the least. I think it's more terrifying now sitting here because in the moment I didn't really have time to react or feel anything. Like I was terrified as it happened, and I can remember that feeling, but it was over in an instant, sort of thing. But now that I'm sitting here with you telling you about it, it is terrifying.
I'm sorry to make you go through that.
Oh, you didn't do anything. I need to tell everyone about it anyway. And she takes another sip of the tea. It just doesn't feel like I've actually slept in those 2 weeks, even though I've been out. So it's taken me quite a while to get my senses back and even be able to walk around the room. As you can tell, I'm getting it back together really quick, but it's still, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Has anything else happened?
We figured out that we got news from the Haven Snouts that they are pretty much scattered to the wind.
Oh, so it was a success then.
We don't know for sure if like the assassination was like confirmed. They just said that they didn't have any bodies or anything, but that the city was pretty much razed from the ground. Or like to the ground, I should say.
Who did that?
The people of the city. They are speculating.
Turned against their masters, sort of thing.
Yes.
That's good then. Hopefully they are at least never going to rear their heads again if they did survive any of them, but I really hope they didn't.
I agree.
No word on Giovanni, I take it?
We're hopeful.
Hopeful? I mean, keep that hope because I would really like to hear a happy ending to that story, but I'm not expecting one.
I try to keep myself positive in terms of that. If
Same.
for at least Kree.
I mean, yes, especially for your friend, but in general, it pays to keep a more positive attitude, especially in the world that we live in. You know, usually there is a, as much as I hate the phrase sometimes, silver lining. Hopefully, the silver lining in this case is that Giovanni managed to escape somehow.
Yeah,
Stranger things have happened, right?
this is true.
So, stranger things in my life have happened, and I'm sure, actually, now I think you've seen plenty of strange things too, from what I can tell.
Here's for the strange things.
Hmm?
Here's for the strange things.
Here's
And
for
you're
the strange things, and she raises the cup of tea and one of the raspberry cookies, and eats it and takes a swig.
If you would like, if you're open to walking around, since you've been
Oh, I would
asleep
love
for 2
to.
weeks.
I need to move. Aaron's not going to be a problem because I'm his boss. So we'll be able to leave without issue. You might need to carry me at some point, which I don't think will be an issue because you've done it before when I've been unconscious, but I'm still a little unsteady on my feet. I would appreciate the help, especially if there's diplomats around.
I don't mind. You can hold on to me.
Thank you. And she looks down at herself. The robes that she's in are very nice. Like, they're, you know, some kind of a fine material, probably silk and something else, and they're beautifully multi-layered where it's like blue, gold, red, and they're very nice, but they're still robes. And she like looks down at herself and, you know what, never mind, I'm going out on this. Fuck the diplomats.
look nice.
They said thank you. They brought some of my stuff when they came. They said there were a lot of diplomats though. Are there a lot of people out right now?
There's a fair amount, but
Yeah.
they're not like crammed in hallways or anything. They're spaced out. I don't
Okay.
think they'll bother you.
Well, hopefully not. And Aaron is always going to be annoyingly close, I'm sure. So if they do, you'll have backup. But I think we'll be fine. And she extends a hand to
He'll help her up.
gets up to her feet. You can feel just from her hand, like. So you take her hand and you know, pulling somebody up. You can feel like her muscles trembling as you pull her up, and it just feels like, especially to somebody that's had monk training, like not full blown, but like muscle atrophy kind of thing.
yeah.
Like because she's been asleep for 2 weeks, definitely feels like her body's taken some time to wake up. So she steadies herself, takes a couple breaths, ends up kind of grabbing lower part of your arm with one hand, brushes herself off with the other hand, cookie crumbs especially, and then like swipes through her hair a couple times until it's more presentable. Doesn't have bedhead somehow, probably took a while cleaning that up before you got here. And she kind of braces herself and goes, okay, let's walk around.
Sure. And if at any point in time you get too tired, just let me know.
Well, if I pass out, make sure I get back, and I would prefer you to bring me back, not Aaron, because I swear to God, he put a crick in my neck. I'm never going to get out. I'm sure it was him, so you take me back if I pass out.
Of course.
Okay.
He'll put the remainder of the tea in a thermos for her to drink.
Okay, she will take it. And when you open the door, you see Aaron standing at the opposite wall now, kind of just glowering at the door. And he just like silently watches you two walk past. And then, you know, once you're like 30 steps ahead, follows, you know, quietly in the background, like chaperoning.
Before they go on any further, he'll be like to him, and he'll hold out the kolache bag.
He hesitates, but he walks over and takes it. Thanks. And he backs up again. And Skullhead just kind of shakes her head. And you guys set off. Where are you going to walk her first? Anywhere specific?
Probably slowly over to where the others are.
So just out like in the main yard,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So she ends up needing your support, specifically going down the stairs, any set of stairs, and there's a couple times you just feel her grab your arm tight, and it's not being cutesy or like trying anything like that. She is legitimately struggling a couple times, but she doesn't get to the point where it looks like she needs to be carried yet. But you can tell that like if you weren't there or somebody that has a decent amount of upper body strength, she would have tumbled.
Yeah.
Early on, but you make the way down the stairs and through the keep, and while you're in the keep, you know, some of the guards and the individuals in the keep that you know just look your way and then dismiss it like they don't do anything or say anything, just kind of nod like, oh, it's Vander. Once you get outside though, you do see a lot of individuals that you don't know, possibly diplomats, possibly their staff. You don't know for sure, but as soon as the two of you are seen outside of the keep, many of these people cluster and just began whispering and looking in your direction. And it seems like politicians or diplomats of some type that are very fixated on Skalea. But nobody ever approaches you or anything, and you're given kind of a suspicious wide berth as you go out. So having her on your arm almost seems like you're repelling people and you're kind of cutting through any people that might have stopped you for conversation, even the guards.
And also, you're part of the geopolitical rumor mill now.
Little did this Furblog monk know that he would be on the cover of so many tabloids across Akora for this
The Night Captain's new beau.
for this. Wait, say that again.
Said, who is the Night Captain's new beau?
Also, like all the speculation of like foreign prince.
Oh no!
Oh
wait
yeah.
a minute!
Yeah. Did you forget your royalty? Foreign prince with one of the diplomatic leaders of Arlia from a noble family herself? Could this be a power move in the making between two ancient families?
Like everyone reading it is like, yeah, right. Like,
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I love how you just forget, like, Vander forgets he's royalty, like, all the time.
I mean, you're exiled, you know.
Yeah. Like, wait, I am a prince? Shit.
I'm going to need to see the Sandy pages write-up of this.
Okay, yep.
Extra, read all about it.
Read all about it in the Orshire. The Orshire, we have to come up with a good name for. What's a good name for a tabloid in Orshire?
Gazette? Oh, well, tabloid?
No, tabloid. Gotta be better than the Gazette.
I got nothing.
I'll wait for you to give me a
We'll-
good
we'll
name.
get
for it.
there,
I'll
yeah.
publish it. Yeah, publish it with all the spicy Furblog elf takes. Yes, all the fan fiction. We're playing fan fiction. But I guess you can't have fan fiction of the fan fiction. So yeah, you guys cut a path through the visiting diplomats, the guards, everybody else in the keep, and you're kind of near the diplomatic quarters as the rest of the party comes back. So as you guys make your way into the keep, not much seems to have changed except the fact that some people do seem to be clustered and having whispered conversations, which all of you clock immediately, because this is the kind of thing that adventurers look out for, is suspicious people, and these people are acting somewhat suspicious. But you do quickly notice that the way that they're all looking directs you to Skalea on Vander's arm, and you see her from a distance before she sees you, and you can all kind of note the disheveled state she's in, the bloodshot eyes, the dark bags, everything else, but she is walking with Vander.
Good evening.
Hi.
It is good to see you up. I am so sorry.
I see they let you in.
Yes.
But
He brought
technically let
food.
me in.
it's really good to see you.
That's good to see you too, and you have nothing to be sorry for. You didn't do it.
I did drag you into it.
You didn't do it, Sonny. You're fine. Nobody could have foreseen something like this. It's lucky that it hit someone like me that has defensive wards in place for surprise attacks. So much better me than you in this case, because you would have died.
Still.
One less, just don't feel bad about it. You gotta, the world's tough enough. I'll give you a pass on this one. I'm fine, even though I might not look it, and apparently I've been out for 2 weeks, not a couple days like my guard said, so.
It's hard to see someone we love get hurt and because of us, you know?
No, I know, and it's very sweet. I just don't want you all to take it to heart, especially since I'm up on my feet now. It's fine. I don't hold any bad feelings or grudges against anyone. And as I said, I'm very serious. I'm happy it hit me because I have Death Ward on me 24/7. I have a cacophony of potions I take every single day to make sure that if assassin comes after me, I'm prepared for it. And one of them apparently kept me alive. I have no idea which one, but I'm alive. So if it would have hit one of you, you probably would have died. So I'm very happy that it was me.
Not recognize me from I was a different person back then. I was more feminine. Changed my face into
Oh, hi.
hi. Yes, and goes back to Gaspard. But yes, it's lovely to see that you're okay. I apologize. I missed that whole ordeal. But...
You didn't miss much unless, like, I mean, from my perspective, you didn't miss much. Did blood shoot out of my nose, or like, did anything interesting happen?
Yes.
Really? Like blood? Go...
Yeah.
Okay. So you missed that.
Your
Wasn't
eyes
too
turned
fun.
completely black.
Completely black.
Yes.
That
Maybe
was.
it's a
I
good
bet that was a
time
look.
to tell her what
Huh?
you saw.
Oh, sorry. Brain is very foggy.
You saw something?
I saw Matilda's face. I think it matched the description that I've been given. I don't know if it was just me thinking of her, because you don't really see things when you send spells. Anyway, I closed my eyes. I sent the spell. I thought I saw a flash of what you've described as Matilda, and then I saw a inky demon, which is not the best way to say what I saw or communicate it, but again, forgive the person that has been out for 2 weeks. It seemed either like an elemental demon of some dark energy, God, my brain, or the physical manifestation of whatever kicked my ass. I don't know. It was very scary, and I remember a jolt of fear before nothingness. Like, you have to realize from my end, I didn't really go through that much. It hurts now, but it wasn't like I was suffering.
Maybe you could make some sense of that.
It felt like 2 nails went up my nose. That's what I said. But
Not right now, but it is something to look into, yes.
I assume you've all been like researching this, or 2 weeks is a long time.
I've been trying to help with. There's a local professor who's been studying. Matilda used to run a shop here, and it's missing along with her. And
Did you mention something about that last time or not?
I think
Not
it
the
came
shop.
up.
I don't think the shop we mentioned. I don't recall.
I think we told her that she was a shopkeeper, yes.
My brain's fuzzy, so I don't really remember it, but that could just be what happened. The shop vanished?
The structure is there, but everything that's in it just gone. It was. She had been putting wards and spells into it for a very, very long time. It seems she had one prepared to take everything somewhere else in an emergency.
So she got away from whatever was putting her in danger, probably.
Maybe, but it's worrying to me that you got hit with that sort of magic trying to contact her.
I mean, it's worrying. I don't think that was probably her doing. At least,
No,
I would guess.
I wouldn't think so either. It's
Pretty barbaric, in my opinion, to ward someone on that kind of a level. Like, I've seen some nasty bits of magic and nasty behavior from nasty individuals, but that's just underhanded. Whatever that ability is, I've never even heard of that. And I've heard of a lot of ways to kill people.
I have not heard of it either. I've seen eyes like that once before in a vision, and the person responsible for them was not good, and Matilda has history with her, so
What do you know what she looks like?
yes, I can draw it in a minute, but she's not, or at least she shouldn't be here. She was in the Fae.
If depending if this person matches the description of what Six saw, might be worth looking into more Fae stuff.
It sounded like you did not really see features, just...
Well, I saw what I thought was Matilda beforehand, but it matched the description of the blue person.
Yes, that would be Matilda.
Then I saw Matilda, as far as I know, because really bright blue skin, very pretty, high cheekbones, like long flowing hair.
Yes.
Okay, that's who I saw before the inky thing, but is the inky thing the bad person?
It might be related to her magic.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry I can't be of more help or give more details, but
No.
it was the briefest of images before the searing pain and nothingness.
No, I understand. It seems to be lining up a little bit, that is all.
It does. At least it sounds like she got away, though. I mean, that's. I'm sorry if I seem like the bitch that showed up and is trying to make you believe that everything's all rosy, because it's not, but silver lining sort of thing.
No, it seems like whatever happened, she did it intentionally. I'm just...
You're worried.
Going to worry, yes.
Yeah, that's understandable. Did you have any other leads to follow up on, or is it kind of just waiting at this point?
And we might see if anybody with more of a knack for divination could nudge us in the right direction, but at this point it's just... I don't know.
Divination?
We were thinking if she is warded, but the shop went with her, it is possible that the shop is not so defended, but we need something that can reach it no matter how far away it is. We just know it is still on this world.
That's an interesting puzzle. Mouse magics wouldn't target a shop, though.
Well, some of my things are there too. So I have a connection to some items that are in it if it is still in one piece.
My theory was to locate object with something familiar, like your shawl.
That doesn't reach as far as we need, though.
Oh.
We have to be within 1,000 feet.
Is there one, like a spell that is longer?
That's what we need to find someone much more skilled in divination for. It is that, or hope by chance, or perhaps she will reach out at some point, but I don't know what her condition is if trying to send her resulted in that sort of magic showing up.
It could just be my puddle of a brain. Didn't you describe her shop as magical? It had a lot of esoteric stuff in it, right? Valuable. There is also another way that you might be able to find it.
What? Black market?
Yep.
What? What? You were right on the money.
I mean,
It comes from my background, apparently.
I mean, underground trade, sometimes when you're looking for something.
No, I don't.
Right, you wouldn't be as familiar with the underbelly of society. Basically, a lot of less savory folk, acquire goods, but they can't exactly sell it back to a shop. Hey, I found this on the street. Well, that's mine. So they basically, sell it to other unsavory folk, and there's a possibility with that. Yes.
Based on my theory, if you want to back me up on this or your thoughts, if she took the shop somewhere else, she still probably is using it as a shop, just not letting it sit there. So she has clientele now in a different spot that might be more, keen on selling her things. And even if they're stand-up people, it's going to get into circulation in a different part of the world where it wasn't before. Or worst case scenario, not worst case, but maybe she moved the shop, isn't really using it as a shop, someone broke in and stole stuff.
Shot in the dark here. You remember the visions that were accompanied by with Matilda, right?
Yes.
The church with the giant was all sap.
I think so. I would have to.
It's the only lead I can think of in terms of her past. I mean, you obviously.
I mean, she didn't have a great past there.
True, but she was there for a while.
It'd been a long time since, but it was. Maybe she went there. I know personally, if I had that sort of memory, it wouldn't be my first choice, but maybe she did not really have one.
Right, just panic switch, emergency button, just thoughts. I mean, I've crawled in a few ditches myself. They weren't exactly.
Who hasn't?
Right, exactly. I mean, we've all bummed it, right?
No.
You're exiled, really? Okay, never mind.
The forest, yeah. Just live in the forest.
Sleeping in trees is the same as like sleeping in ditches, right?
Is it?
I pretty much
trees are really
stayed
nice.
in inns or camped.
I did something wrong growing up. I'm not sure what.
I'm right there with you. It's just, I prefer inns, but sometimes a ditch is where you end up. So,
Shelter is shelter.
to butt in again, what is you talking about with this Allsap?
Just what we know of Matilda's history, she was there for a time. That's shot in the dark, but it's a place we know she's been before.
I mean, she would have needed to take materials from somewhere she's been. in order to build that switch from what it sounded like. So it's as good as
Maybe.
It's probably worth to just talk to him about it, see what he might know.
It's worth following up on any lead that you have, and if she spent a lot of time there, even if it was a good time, maybe there's a thread to pull. What happens in investigations like these is you have to find threads and you have to pull them.
sometimes literally.
Yes,
When would you
that's
literally have to
already
pull-
demonstrated.
Yeah, wizard magic.
That involves threads?
Yeah.
Creating sort of like a thread out of the residue left over from magic.
My scrambled brain isn't ready to process that, apparently.
It's very academic, I guess.
It sounds like it. I've never seen that kind of thing. Well, then again, after what Edwin did, I shouldn't be surprised with physical manifestations of magic. So thread, I guess, is in the realm of possibility.
Well, I mean, in plays there's always a red herring, but in real life it's just, you know, you poke. You poke. Sometimes you read the mind of a black stone, and you know things happen.
You shouldn't do that again.
Yes, please do not.
I'm not speaking literally, but you know,
I am. Do not do that again.
if I find a cursed object, I will definitely consult you guys. But you know, I mean, these all seem like promising leads.
Yeah.
He did what?
It's Hagstone, long story.
Hagstone. What the Hagstone?
Isn't it like the focal point and the life source of the hag, right?
It
They-
was a
and their
pocket
powers.
dimension that had some sort of like eternity cemetery that we all got locked in, and I may have shot Matilda thinking she was
Ugh.
the specter attacking Matilda. It's very complicated.
I was trying not to think about that.
Vander, really?
This is stuff out of my league. I know very limited stuff relating to magic.
You have an interesting life, all of you.
Look, it's important to remember these details in case we ever have to publish any of it. I mean, it's very important that people know what the heroes of
I mean,
Lorja have gone
I'd
through.
read it.
I try not to think about what happened in that stone.
I'm just saying, anybody could have been tricked into shooting a compatriot in the hell cemetery that we were trapped in.
Who
I have
has
nothing
it?
to shoot.
Exactly.
I don't have anything to shoot or shoot with.
Do you want to try it?
No.
I'm getting pretty good at it. So, yes, black market, very unhelpful
That's
gnome.
what I was saying. The Silver Moons ran a very intricate black market that moved goods all around Cardathia, and I'm sure there's one that exists everywhere, regardless of who's running it. I think that would be a good lead if you had a general idea of the continent. Or you could somehow put a... You don't have the resources of a nation, but you could... If you had contacts or something like that, look for whatever her signature good is. What did Matilda... What was she known for? Did she make like a thing?
Lots of everyday magic. She tried to make it available to, more regular people to make their lives easier.
The earrings.
Yeah,
Yes.
the occluders were
The
probably
occluders.
a high level thing that people would want.
Take mine out, look at the symbol.
I'm not going to lie, those spoons were pretty cool.
The spoons?
Yeah, the spoon, they got hot.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I mean, come on.
or cold, or
Or
cold.
cold. Like, I mean, think about usefulness. I mean, somebody on the black market's going to look for that.
How has no one ever done that before? That's amazing. I love that idea.
She's very clever.
So she specialized in stuff like that, like
Yeah,
everyday life
She made
stuff.
lots of things like that. She's studied strange little objects and artifacts.
I think that's a pretty damn easy thing to spot on a black market. Then nobody makes that stuff these days. I mean, they do, but it's hard to find. Even in a city that's been established for a long time, most magic is pretty cost prohibitive, even if you get into your basic spells and staves and charged wands and stuff like that. So if some of that popped up in a city that didn't really have a lot of vendors before, there's your girl.
Could be, yes.
What is her signature like for her crafts? Does she have like a symbol?
Do our goods have a symbol? 'Cause I don't remember if that detail ever came up. We've
But-
got some of them.
You do. And actually, Vander, when you mentioned taking out your occluder and looking at it, it does have a symbol on it. I think it might have, excuse me, bubbly water. I I think it might have been mentioned the first time that you went to the Emporium, maybe, but there is a symbol that is associated with Matilda's Emporium. It is etched on the barrel occluder, and it looks like a portal made of leaves. So it's a ring of like ivy leaves, and inside of it, there's like a sunburst or a starburst or some kind of a burst inside of it, and that's the symbol that's always been used for the Emporium.
Okay.
So, but it is etched on everything you've got from hers. So,
Oh, there we go. We just need to look for this stuff.
I don't really have any seedy underworld contacts these days outside of Arlia/Cardathia, but if you can find some, or just go visit a black market, as long as you don't stand out like sore thumbs,
Might Sykes be a good option?
from what you've said about her and the vibe that I picked up, yeah, I think she's the type of girl you're looking for.
If she's still in port, she might be gone now. I don't know how long she was planning to stay.
She dropped you guys off, so like when she let you guys go, like you got off the ship and she left. So for the most part, she wasn't gonna try and stay around.
Could contact her later then.
But you can just visit these places too if you ask around and ask the right questions. Then again, I think the only one of you that would probably know how to do that is your new friend here.
Well, not new, but
Technically,
New,
I'm the
new,
new
to,
one.
new to me.
would you?
What'd you say?
Technically, I'm the new one.
Oh, well, but he's the most shady. And I mean that with love because I'm the same way.
I mean, little different, but I do have a contact in the underworld. Frankie Pacino. They're
Who's Frankie?
well, they were in from core. They were basically how I got less savory jobs when there weren't acting gigs available. They're my fixer, my friend. I mean, I don't know.
They fix things for you?
They arrange things for me.
Not a cleaner kind of fixer, right?
Cleaner.
Get rid of dead bodies.
Oh dear, no. I don't think he could lift a dead body.
Oh, okay, that's
he,
good.
He
then.
was more of a people person, networking and all that. But yes, just basically one contact that I have in the underground. Again, that would be whether or not they're related to core, which might actually not be that likely.
We have a lot of options for.
Yeah, we know a lot of people. We've actually traveled a lot of the world in the past month.
Yeah, it's
And
been a lot.
now you have your own ship, according to Vander.
We do have our own ship.
We should name it something cool.
Hoorah. No, no.
Sonny would literally do a murder.
I guess we just have to figure out where we want to start.
Exactly.
Would the giant friend of yours be the easiest?
As much as I would love to reconnect with Agvir, judging from what we've learned about the Emporium, I'm not sure that they would necessarily have useful information. I mean, maybe insights. We could definitely reach out to them. We've got the gnome friend, if I'm ever able to get back in contact with her.
Plus, you were just going to try again in the morning.
Yes, I could definitely use my good old 8 hours, but Alsap would be a difficult one. I don't even know if I've been to Alsap personally. And then we can always try Cass's method too. Anytime we go into a town, we try. How often can you cast that?
Occasionally. Not a ton. It would take me, although more technical people would be able to cast it multiple times a day. I could only do it like a couple. It's hard. And by that I mean like, I think I have like 1 or 2 spell slots for it.
Understandable, yes. Same thing with my clairvoyance. I can only do that so many times.
Yeah, 2.
No, that makes sense. Well, it seems like we do not necessarily need to pick just one. A few of these kind of overlap a little, you know? Maybe in the morning we try to talk to your gnome, and then
Maybe reach out to Sykes as well.
Well, maybe, but I don't know if Sykes has been at sea, that might not be the most useful, but
That's true.
We need to figure out the continent first. I mean, she could be anywhere in the world.
Where in the world?
My idea is tomorrow morning you talk to your gnome,
Will do.
see what she has to say about the diviner. Make sure she understands what is going on this time.
I would hope that she, but I don't know. I will try my best. She seems very nice.
If you say so. If we get anything there, maybe we have an option over in the conglomerate. And if we do not, and we want to look for a diviner, we do know of one in Quandir, might be a little hard to get to.
But there's
And
some other things to look into.
you know people who can start looking out for her goods. So maybe we put the word out with them. You talk to your gnome, and then while we are waiting to find out about either of those, we could go to Quandir. We had things to look at there anyway.
Okay.
And then as soon as we have more information, we can adjust.
Core is on the same continent as Ulsap, so maybe they would know something. Like, I mean, related to both. I mean, one or the other.
Vander, can you do a perception check? You're gonna blow through all your scryings or all your sendings now. Talk to Frankie. Talk to.
Oh no,
everybody.
Frankie's getting a letter.
Oh, you're not gonna send him.
I mean, I can buy expensive magical letters.
You
too,
can,
so-
you can, but I mean, sending's still more direct.
Yeah.
10?
10? Okay.
Not too bad.
No, actually, not too bad at all. While you're standing there and this conversation's happening, which I please keep the conversation going as you guys are figuring things out. This is just a note for you. You feel Six hand slipping, and she's not really showing that she's struggling to anybody else, as if she's like keeping a brave face or hiding it kind of thing, but you feel her hand like inch down your arm a little bit because she's losing her grip kind of thing. So she might be starting to buckle a bit.
He'll, as slightly as he can, given his lack of perception normally,
Yeah.
he'll carefully reach around as sly as he can to hold her up better.
And as soon as you do that, you can feel her slump a bit, but now she gets to appear that she's still standing over her on her own power. So doesn't look up or say anything, but you get the gist that she's like, thank you for doing that. So what options are you going to go with then?
Nap time. Good night, everybody. I'll be useful in the morning.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What time is it in the day?
It's based with the running around and dinner and stuff. It's about 10 in the evening right now. So, I mean, kind of late, kind of not. So,
Okay. Sick, if you'd like, I can take you back to your room. And if you don't want to go to sleep right away, we could do meditation to help your mental strength. and
I
fortitude.
don't know if I can meditate like this. Can you take me to somewhere we can see the ocean for a minute? I don't want to go back in that stuffy room yet, but then I need help back there.
Sure.
But if you have questions or need more help sussing certain leads out, I'm not leaving for a little bit just because I'm not fit for travel. So please let me know what you decide, or at least say goodbye before you leave, just so I know what's going on.
Certainly.
Yes, of course.
Though if you have to vanish in the night, we all do that too. So I get it, but
No one is vanishing in the night.
Not anymore.
I'm not planning to. All right.
sometimes it
Everyone's looking
happens.
at you.
Were you planning to last time, or did you just kind of get an idea and go running off after it?
You know, in the moment, everything seems so obvious.
Oh yes, I still owe you a spiel.
A spiel.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's your turn.
Wait, Vander, I want to hear this.
So, we are a team. We are the heroes of Orishire, and we do not just randomly pop off and just go on our own way without leaving any sort of communication with each other, because then we don't know what's going on. You could be dead. We don't know. But, like, if you ever just said, like, hey guys, I need to go do blah, 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 then we could go with you, and you would be safer, and it would be fine.
Yeah.
No.
No, really. Like, so Half-Pint was told to abscond, and I, of course, couldn't leave Half-Pint alone. That would be ridiculous.
You are her
Especially,
best friend.
and also, I had already betrayed Half-Pint by disappearing on them previously. So technically, I owed them a not leaving their presence. So therefore, I was really doing the honorable thing. In which case, I think I'm growing as a person.
Listen, you were obviously very distraught in that moment, so I'm not holding that one against you. But you just ran off to Vinzor, and we didn't know what was going on. So, like, you can't do that, and we've had other instances of this happening, and it just, like, Vander disappeared on the eve of battle, and we didn't know what was going on. So,
It all worked out.
Skalea takes a cookie and crunches it as it's going on and just watches.
so from now on, we stick together as a group, as a pod, as a team.
This discussion needs to happen at least once. So now it's your turn next. Whenever it happens.
Oh no, I already lectured the two
No.
of you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Never mind. It's gone full circle.
No, she already got me for everything with Matilda.
That's true. See, we'll do it.
Look, I didn't run out of
We'll
the city.
do
I
it.
was trying to get laid.
Is that better?
There
If
wasn't
it's in the
supposed to
same
be a problem.
I,
We were all resting. I didn't
that
even
one-
leave the building at first.
Yeah, that's fine. If you just go out for a drink in the middle of the night or to
Canoodle?
yes,
What?
it's fine. Ignore it. Like that's fine. We don't have to do everything. You don't have to announce when you're going to be using the privy, but we don't leave town or go fight monsters knowingly. Without informing the others.
I have been working on my communication skills, of course, both mundanely as well as supernaturally. But yes, I will let you know the next time I'm going to leave, so that we don't have to do investigations and worrying and such. I simply think that everything worked out
Sure it did.
exactly. I won that conversation.
Why are you announcing that?
You could hear that?
Yeah.
Shit.
They
I-
just sort of do this.
I am sorry.
Don't apologize to me. Apologize to yourself.
Why did that hurt? Okay.
She's not mad. She's disappointed.
It's like the Goodwill Hunting thing where it's like, it's not your fault.
Oh God.
All right. Yeah.
Are you going to slink off to your room?
No,
Go think about what you've done.
Okay, after that, yes.
Cast for not to say that.
Oh my gosh. Use the bardic inspiration to burn me.
Yeah.
That wore off, unfortunately.
Yeah, sadly. That would have been funny though.
Reverse vicious mockery.
Yeah. I love it. Canoodle?
I don't know why he says it either.
Is it sex or kissing? I can't figure it out.
Next one.
Matilda's my girlfriend.
Canoodle away. I've just never heard that word in a long time outside of a book.
I have only ever heard him say it.
It's a fun word.
I mean, it is a fun word. You don't hear canoodle, canoodle, canoodle. You don't hear that often.
Oh my god.
Well,
To the beach?
please. Or at least the dock. I don't know if I can make it to a beach, but the dock, I need more fresh air before I go back into that loft.
Of course. See you all in the morning.
Yes.
As long as no one absconds in the night, so.
No one is absconding in the middle of the night.
I have nowhere to go right now.
Gaspard has left to go back to the hotel. Or the room.
I'd make a joke about absconding in the night, but I don't have the energy to, so I'll probably be here in the morning. But
Sounds good. We'll head out.
Get some
Okay.
rest.
I'll try. Hopefully this time actual rest instead of whatever was happening to me.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. And she heads out with Vender. Anything else anyone is going to do this eve with their time?
Are you feeling any better?
A little, I guess.
That's good.
Things were a lot simpler back home.
Yeah, I would imagine. But sometimes that causes its own problems.
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have a plan. That'll get us closer to answers.
You all right?
Yeah, of course.
It's been a lot lately. It's. I know we're all kind of a mess right now.
I'd say we're statistically average in terms of adventures.
From what I've heard, that's still not great.
We're fine.
Look, I know things have been a little weird lately, but if you need to talk about anything, you can just let me know, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
You probably just off to bed.
I can't. Which one of you? You! I knew it! My head snapped immediately to Ray.
I just eliminated myself. Whoops. In my drinking fountain.
All right. Anything else that's going on? Are you two retiring to your rooms? Talking more?
Yeah, retiring.
Retiring to your rooms?
Cass retiring. Sonny's just gonna go commune and go to bed like usual.
Okay. Well, then everyone gets to settle in for another quiet night in Orashire. The most noise in this keep tonight is going to be a lot of diplomats whispering and talking about things that may end up in certain tabloids. But otherwise, it is a quiet night in the keep in the city of Orashire. And Vander and Sclea are able to find a spot on nearby the long dock that runs from the docks to the actual keep that you've walked many times. A nice spot to sit down where you can just sit and get fresh air and kind of look at the ships coming and going before taking her back inside so she can hopefully get some sleep. And I think on that note, we will go ahead and wrap up our first episode of 2023. And yeah. Hopefully everybody felt good getting back into the characters and the world and everything else.
Oh,
like
very
that.
much so.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know that I did. We, speaking for PDD stuff, I thought we were going to have a Sunday off, but travel plans actually changed to benefit us. So we should foreseeably be here for the next couple weeks and in our same Sunday time slot. So if you're somebody that's returning to us after our absence, thank you so much for coming back. We missed you. If you're somebody new that found us, welcome to the craziness. If you've never seen us before or Mythical Family, please check us out on all the different socials, especially our Discord, because we're all on Discord. And we love to hang out, share memes, and you get to hear about all the cool projects that Mythical Family is working on, because it's much more than just D&D. We're just one small bit of what Mythical Family does. We have all sorts of different shows that we've ran or are running in the future. We go to events like the Meeple Peak board game convention that's coming up here.
Come and play a game with me.
Yes, come play a game. Plenty of them are running games. I'm out of town at that time, sadly, but a bunch of people here are running games. Lighthouse at the End of the Universe. What are you running?
Unkindness. A story of
Unkindness.
adolescent ravens.
Yes, bird crimes.
Yes,
Yes.
if you want to play in Bird Crimes, the game, come to Carson City, Nevada for the Meeple Board Game Convention, Meeple Peak Board Game Convention, 16th, 17th, 18th of this month. But yeah, hop on our Discord, check us out, and if you want to see more of this, come back next week at Sunday, 7 p.m. PST, and we'll see what the heroes of Orashire get up to this time and where they go on their hunt across the world for where in the world is her name just doesn't work with it. Matilda Ravino just doesn't rhyme like Carmen Sandiego, but
Ravina.
Matilda, man, maybe you could a cappella it, but yeah, join us next week. And in the meantime, hope you have a good Sunday night and a good week. And we're probably gonna raid somebody, right?
Looks like it.
Maybe. We're probably raiding someone. We try to raid like fellow creators like us and stuff. So if you can stick around for a minute or two, please do, just so you can get moved over on the raid. It counts for them and everything like that. And spend a minute or two checking them out, see what they're offering. Maybe you're going to find another new favorite content creator. But in the meantime, have a really good night, and we will see you next time. So we'll go ahead and hop over to a raid if we're going to do a raid. We can just kill time until there's a raid.
One. Bye-bye.
Bye. As I almost spill stuff on Joe's laptop. How's everybody feeling? Good?
Yeah. Very nice to get back into it.
I agree.
Get back into some D&D. Same character, get to play with the familiar characters.